Cincinnati Medical Center involved in his care. Hamlin is still considered critically ill and that significant progress is still needed. His neurological condition is intact. Hamlin unable to speak but was able to communicate in writing, asking whether the Bills won the game against the Bengals, a game that was postponed following his collapse. In addition, Hamlin has been able to grip the hands of family members at his hospital bedside. All welcome news for a Bills team prepping for Sunday's game versus New England, notes ESPN's Damian Woody.
Look at the progress that Damar Hamlin has been making. The neurological aspect of it is huge. So as a player, you know, in Buffalo that's preparing to play New England, that is such a huge relief.
Damian Woody on First Take. In other news on this Thursday, Texas has fired men's basketball coach Chris Beard as he faces a felony domestic violence charge.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. And it's a football Thursday. We will not be with you tomorrow. Jeremy's heading down to Miami Beach.
Jeremy will be on an airplane. And Jeremy will have every domestic light that you could physically consume in South Beach.
He's going to go down to the Dolphins-Jets game in
just
Miami
to boo Mike
this
LaFleur.
weekend, and he is probably going to get into a street brawl of some kind.
Oh.
And
So I looked at my luggage, which I haven't even fully packed. I just laid out all the things before I left for work this morning.
Uh-huh.
I am not taking an article of clothing that doesn't have a Jet logo on it. So if you hear
Could get rowdy.
a very large mulleted man was beaten senseless in Miami,
You know, there are a lot of more experienced, better MMA fighters that live in Miami, right?
correct.
That could be a big problem.
Well, I feel like I'm sitting.
You won't mess with me because I'm an MMA guy. And then, oh, here's my friend Jorge Masvidal.
I feel like I'm sitting.
Fafo, big boy.
I feel like I'm sitting at a 6'5", and I am afraid that I will 11 foe.
Just be careful who you trash talk down in Miami. You never
I'm
know.
not the trash talk fan. I'm really not. And not in the stadium. No, I'm the.
I was gonna say in the bar before the game.
It'll be more after. It's after we're on domestic light number 17. That's why we have Amy, because she is the conscience of good decisions.
We expect and we will, I'm sure, will all deserve the full explanation of the weekend's debauchery that goes on down in Miami. But we will not have a show tomorrow because of it. And so today is a football Thursday, and I want to start off with a controversial statement. There is a God, and he is good. Because if you have not been following the Damar Hamlin story, the next time I see somebody on social media talk about screw your T's and P's, your thoughts and prayers, you know, that doesn't really fly well with me.
I might remind him of today.
Exactly. Neurological signs are all positive for Damar, which is that was my biggest fear. My biggest fear was his heart stopped, his oxygen levels were cut off too long, and there was going to be some kind of, horrible neurological deficit there when he was revived. obviously, we're all glad that he is improving, but the neurological news to me is just above and beyond. He is awake. He's opened his eyes. He is holding hands with family. He is able to communicate through writing. So I'm just opening the show with the most controversial statement of the year. There is a God, and he is good. Anyhow, let's all just celebrate here, because over the next 3 hours we're going to have all the picks for you. Unfortunately, we have another incident with Asheville Police Chief Zack not being able to join us today. Thankfully, the back is doing better. He went through PT the other day. He was telling me it's always hard, but he's getting better. But his schedule got all cattywampus
you have to
today,
remember that he does have official duties that are more important than picking football games.
Really need law and order at this moment?
Absolutely.
For an hour, you can't. Anyhow, obviously,
look, he's got a job to do.
Yes.
It's not like he could just take off a week. What is he, the water department?
Oh!
I'm going on vacation, and I'm here to annoy all of you. Let's go.
We will not have the Chief with us, but we do have Chiefs picks. We will be picking all of the games as we usually do. We're going to do things a little differently, though. We're going to focus in playoff picture, week 18 implications for each and every game. We'll do the NFC in the first hour. We'll do the AFC in the 4 o'clock hour, probably half in the 4 o'clock hour and another half in the 5 o'clock hour, because at 4 o'clock, it is a Thursday, so we will be joined by Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, to give us the latest on what all is happening in Tar Heel land. The bowl game didn't go as we wanted it to.
Although it was a fantastic game.
100%. It absolutely was. But the bowl game didn't go the way you wanted it to. The basketball season has been shaky, but
got a win last night.
Oh, man. R.J. Davis was incredible last night. So we'll talk.
Our UNCA Bulldogs got a win last night.
Yes, they did.
And Brian Hall says his dad is the good luck charm. I just want this to be known. I've produced 2 UNCA games. 2-0.
2-0. All right.
I'm not saying I'm the cause. I'm just saying you can call me the Hurricane Rock. Since that rock's been out in front of this building, no hurricanes.
Exactly. All right. So, we'll get into all things Tar Heel with Jones Angel coming up at the 4 o'clock hour. We'll have our daily draft. Jeremy and I will pick where we're going this weekend. And he's already going. You have to take number one because you're going.
Dolphins first because I am going to them.
You are going. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Join us in the chat. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. You got to subscribe to the channel to be in the chat with us. And get your thoughts on all the games as well. And as always, the best and most hilarious comments will be highlighted here throughout the next 3 hours. So, you got a button to hit?
Yeah. It's a drop that we do at this time.
Oh, you forgot the box last time.
Yeah,
so
it's here.
He's got the box. All right, so it's time for the opening drive.
What'd you think I was going to do?
I didn't know if there was a super chat or what. You just went to hit a button, and I was like, I don't know what we're doing. All right, it's a football Thursday, and it's time for the opening drive. And the opening drive, always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. 629 Brevard Road is the place to go to get your new vehicle. Look, I drove a hell of a clunker.
That is as nice as you could possibly say.
I literally drove that thing into the ground. Like, the wheels didn't even sit right. When I pulled it up to Fred Anderson Nissan, and they went, yeah, you definitely need a new
legally,
new
we cannot allow you to leave this dealership in that car.
Exactly. So I was they worked the deal with me. I got the 2017 certified pre-owned Rogue. I love my ride, and Jeremy, he's all bougie because he gets different cars every week.
I do, because they are very good to me over there at 629 Brevard Road. This week I'm in a Frontier. Love this truck. Frankly, I've driven every car they have. There's no losers there. They're all fantastic. Just depends on what it is you're looking for. So give them a call today. They'll find what it is you're looking for. 629 Brevard Road. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Yep, and we've got all the playoff implications going on around the NFL this week. It is, Jalen Hurts coming back for Philadelphia. They got a shot.
Philadelphia by 1,000.
Yeah, that's Kind of how I feel
The
about
Giants
it.
are like, well, we're going to play all of our players. I don't care if you do or not.
Philadelphia, I mean, they go into this week needing to win to clinch the home field advantage. I believe that's probably what's going to happen. We got a lot of questions in the AFC. That's why we're not doing that until the 4 o'clock hour because, I mean, that situation could change at any moment. But Philly's trying to get the number 1 seed. You still got San Francisco and Dallas who are not mathematically eliminated from having home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
And if you pull for losers like me, we got draft implications, y'all. Let's go.
Well, obviously, we'll let you highlight all of that because, you know, those of us who did make the playoffs still have a shot to win.
You didn't mean to, Tampa Bay boy.
Hey, we're in it. We're one of the few who get a chance to take home the Lombardi Trophy, and that's the best, shiniest rose that I can put on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers crap season.
Congratulations, Monmouth. Yeah, you got allowed in the dance. You know what you got on tap?
Right.
Baylor. It's not gonna go your way.
UMBC beat Virginia. Remember when that happened?
Also didn't mean to. And I'll be honest with you, UMBC better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Indeed. We've got the last playoff spots still need to be determined in both of the leagues. So it's going to be fun. It is going to be a fun week 18 plus. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't see any way that we don't play this game. The Buffalo-Cincinnati game has to be played, right? I mean,
I feel like it does.
Barring the Buffalo Bills coming out and losing to the New England Patriots, or the Kansas City Chiefs losing to the Las Vegas Raiders, which I see both of those things not exactly equally distant possibilities, but they're pretty far off from happening. So Kansas City wins, Buffalo wins. We have to play this game. Buffalo, I mean, this was the second question I was asked about the Damar Hamlin situation. First, it was, have you heard anything? How's the kid doing? And the second one was, how are we going to get this game in? Are they just going to postpone the game? I don't think you can. And I keep going over it in my mind, and I don't see a fair way to not play the game.
Well, the NFL may have incidentally been handed an accidental mulligan.
Okay.
What matters? So what game determines whether you need to play Buffalo, Cincinnati?
Oh, Buffalo and Kansas City's games.
Kansas City's game, namely. What's the first game of the NFL weekend? Chiefs Raiders at 4:30 on Saturday.
Okay.
I won't be shocked if you see the Chiefs beat the Raiders, which I fully believe is going to happen. And that's when they come up with the plan of how we were going to deal with this. I have heard a lot of very stupid scenarios, including a number generator.
A number
They were going to run Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Buffalo through a number generator to seed them, which is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life.
Ridiculous.
I feel like this game's going to happen. And now that we know that Damar Hamlin's getting better, I feel like now you have given these teams the chance. Now they know he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can get back to the business of football.
Right.
And that sounds crass, but it is still a business.
Yeah.
And I don't see how you can – my problem has always been, how do you punish the two teams that went through this? It was tough on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
The two teams that were on that field are the ones that it was the toughest on. And so how do you punish them and just say, yeah, Kansas City gets the 1 seed?
Yeah, you can't.
That doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And I've heard a lot of scenarios. We could play the NFC in the first week with Bills, Bengals, and then the AFC's in the second week. Then we reconvene for the divisional round. I don't care how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I do not care how you do it.
You take out the Pro Bowl week.
Which should be done anyway.
Well, I mean, the teams appreciate having that extra week to rest up and to get prepared. And in a normal year, you can do that. I mean, I will contend this is not a normal year now. We had an unprecedented situation that it was not possible to continue that game no matter which way you slice it. So we have to make the accommodation somewhere. This is not going to be like, we're not going to settle this like high school style. Like in the Friday Night Lights movie, where all the 3 head coaches show up and we're just going to flip a coin. And, oh, look, you get home field advantage. That's not how this is going to work.
No Smiles in our YouTube chat said the Buffalo-Cincinnati game got canceled. No, it did not.
No.
That is a fake news story that is circulating around. I've seen it as well and have vetted it, and it's not true. I hate social media for that purpose because it looks very credible. It is not.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever want to know, just Google Adam Schefter. Just go to Twitter and search Adam Schefter's name. Because that original post is like 90 minutes old. If you're 90 minutes into that and Adam Schefter nor Ian Rappaport has said anything about it, it's not true. I can tell you as of noon today, they were still talking about ways to get this game in.
Yes.
And the thing that keeps coming back is we managed to go all the way through coronavirus and we never canceled a game. We're not canceling one here.
Mm-hmm.
If we can absolutely prevent it. And you can.
If we have to.
Now, if Kansas City loses, that's a whole different scenario.
Exactly.
Now you can go by winning percentage, give them both a tie, and away we go.
And the Jarrett Stidham rocket just keeps on soaring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I mean, that's because that's where we're at.
I've had a lot of Raider fans that are like, let's just ride with Stiddy next year.
Ugh.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
no. Trust me. You do not want that to happen.
Look, I say it's a foregone conclusion and all of that, but don't take my word for it because I suck at picking games.
Yeah. Yeah, about that.
So, yeah.
You remember?
It was almost
when Tank had like an overwhelming lead and he kept going on, Tank won. Well, during the 2 weeks that we were not here,
it hadn't gone well.
He won 9 games total.
Jeremy got 9 games right last week.
In a week. He got 9 games right in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've had back-to-back weeks picking games against the spread in the NFL where I had double-digit losses, and that is never good. I went 5-10 in Week 16, and I went 4-11 last week, including ayahuasca. I don't know what the
from now on,
explanation.
Tank has to pick all of his games at 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
because I don't know what you were doing. I feel like you were hanging out with Aaron Rodgers and Charlie Sheen and maybe a couple other people.
What are you, a cop?
There you go.
Anyway, last week's picks did not go my way, and I have lost the lead and beat the Chief. I went 3 weeks ago. I had a 3-game lead on old Flostradamus, and now I got a 3-game deficit with 1 week to go. So, yeah.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
I mean, Jeremy, I just hate it when he's right. I hate it when he's right. He said this all year long. In fact, he said, although he did say it all year long last year, and I ended up winning the thing. But still, yeah, pride comes shortly before the fall.
Hubris comes slightly before the fall.
And nobody falls like formerly fat Tank Spencer. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing, I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? After all, it's one thing to run a business and another to grow it. But what if you had access to everyone listening to me right now? Access to all the customers in your area. As the #1 audio company in America, iHeartMedia gives you access to all the customers you need to grow at a fraction of the cost of digital, video, and social advertising. Get started today. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville, and we are inside the Ingles Studio. It's time for a Super Chat.
I'm your huckleberry.
Gage Camplin sent in the Super Chat. Says, hello, boys. Hope the holidays were good. They were. Hope yours were good as well. Only solution that I see is you push the playoffs to the following week, and we only have 1 week between the championship games and the Super Bowl. Exactly.
Bingo.
We've done it before, and we can do it again.
I don't embrace problems. I embrace solutions. And that is a solution.
Mm-hmm. Because this whole having the Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl in between the championship games, that's a relatively new thing. We didn't always used to do that. Hell, Tampa Bay did it with the first Super Bowl run back in 2002. I guess technically January of 2003. There was no week in between. It was just, hey, win the NFC Championship in Philadelphia, pick up and go all the way out to San Diego to go to the Super Bowl. We don't need the pomp and circumstance of an entire week off.
No.
It's a luxury.
And we don't need to talk about the Pro Bowl. Do that on Saturday before the Super Bowl. It's fine.
And here's the thing. This is the one thing that the NFL does not want to do is move the Super Bowl.
Well, they're not going to move the Super Bowl. I don't care if we have 2 playoff weeks in the same week. They're not moving the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is non-negotiable.
The logistics of that are insanity.
Mm-hmm.
They're not moving that.
No.
But there is a chance that we get really creative here.
Well, the only the thing that would save us from having to do that would be the Raiders beating the Chiefs. We'll get into that game in the next hour. First game on the Sunday slate in the NFL is Tampa Bay and the Atlanta Falcons in the 1 o'clock game. Yay.
I mean, if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's been the talk all week long. Like, are we resting players for the playoffs?
Because there's nowhere you can go. You're the 4 seed, regardless of what happens.
And I don't see that. This team needs some kind of a groove, if that is a thing. I don't think it's a thing with this team. I mean, look, I watch these games each and every week, and it's all hunky-dunky that Tom Brady is able to come in and finally figure out how to play football late in games. But let's be honest, he has not been good this year. You can throw all the stats out. You can go, he's still top 5 in passing and all that. I don't care what the stats say.
He has been awful.
Yeah, he is not the same old Tom Brady. There is something wrong with all of these the connections that he has with all his receivers. He had not been hitting Mike Evans in stride until the fourth quarter of the Carolina game. Now, if you think that that's some kind of a start of a revolution, I'm not screwing with that this week. Everybody's playing. We're considering this a warm-up for the Dallas Cowboys. We got one shot at this, boys, and it's Tom's last ride.
So nobody ever wants to hear we're tanking for a draft pick. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how far Atlanta can fall in the draft order if they accidentally win this game? They're at 7 right now.
14.
Missed it by a spot.
13?
It's 13.
Okay.
They could go as high as 6, as low as 13, just by winning. And maybe I'm picking this with my heart, going, if I'm the coach, Desmond Ridder, I don't care if you lead this offense the wrong direction. If we end this game with more points than they have, we're all going to have a problem at the end of this.
Right.
Atlanta's a 4-point favorite. Stop. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay minus the 4. Look, I didn't do it last week. I was on Carolina's side last week.
I was too.
Carolina was getting 3 in the hook, and I went, oh, I like that. I think Tampa still wins, but Carolina should be able to cover. And then Tampa's offense, like I said, just sparked up in the fourth quarter and went, oh, this is what it used to feel like. I think they continue that streak this week, or try to anyway. I don't see resting players and all of that.
No, I see Mike Evans doing the exact same thing he did last week. And then everybody will chirp up and go, look, Tom Brady figured it out. And then they get to see the Dallas Cowboys in the first round. And have you ever you've been driving down the road and off the side of the road you see a squirrel. And that squirrel decides to go kamikaze. And the next thing you know, no more squirrel.
No more squirrel.
That squirrel is fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in them things.
Yeah, I still disagree on that front. They're not going to go away
quietly. You remember when I said hubris comes shortly before the fall? Well, you hubered and you fell.
And you hubered.
You hubered and you fell.
All right, Vikings and the Bears in Chicago. Another 1 o'clock game in the NFC. There's really nothing here. I mean, what are you fighting for?
Who's starting at quarterback for the Chicago Bears? Because it's not Justin Fields. He's hurt.
It's Nathan Peterman.
The pride of the Pittsburgh Panthers, Nathan Peterman. That is the only bit of information I needed. I didn't need to know where this game was played. I didn't need to know who they were playing, what day it was. I don't care. Because I don't think Nathan Peterman could beat a really good high school team. Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Minnesota's a 7.5-point favorite.
Don't care. I don't care if they're a 70.5-point favorite. Skull.
All right.
Minnesota's got to have something going into the playoffs.
You would think.
After you just got scattered, smothered, and covered by a Green Bay team that there is a great chance that you're going to be playing in the playoffs, you can't go in losing to Nathan Peterman and the Bears.
No.
And the Bears, if you lose and the Houston Texans win, you have the number 1 pick in the draft.
And you know what? You know what this game also screams? Justin Jefferson has a Mike Evans week. What Mike Evans did last week, Justin Jefferson will do this week. Because it's the way it always goes. The guy who poops his pants in the last week of the fantasy football Super Bowl week
Always goes
nanners in the last week of the season. You got 2 points from him last week and probably lost your championship game, and now he's going to score 80 points.
Would you like to take a guess at how many leagues I had Justin Jefferson in, and I was in the finals, and I still won?
Probably none.
7 of them.
7.
I was really overweight on Justin Jefferson this year. And somehow, some way, I managed to pull it out.
Had to pass up on that joke there. The Carolina Panthers.
What are you, 6?
I'm
are
sorry.
you 6 years old?
I'm sorry. Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Don't screw around and win this game, Carolina. We'll talk about it up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cooler numbers settling in for the weekend, feeling a little more like January should. We get down to 32 in the valley tonight and higher elevations in the 20s tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, low 33, and we'll see 40s and 50s this weekend with nighttime low temps in the 20s. That is closer to where we should be this time of winter. Some light rains coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, FRS247.com.
Don't go through another year with that knee pain or back pain. People with chronic joint pain are getting real lasting relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Their unique protocols use healing agents from your own body to target aching joints, repairing and restoring damaged tissue so you can move again with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Got shoulder pain, excruciating hip pain? If you have any arthritis pain or lingering pain from an injury, don't let them operate on you or give you more steroids, and say no to the pain pills. Call QC Kinetics and see if their all-natural treatments can get you living your best life in the new year. This is the future of joint pain management, and appointments are available as soon as the next week. Make 2023 the year you say goodbye to joint pain. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio!
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Week 18 is upon us. Welcome back into a football Thursday here in the Sportsocracy. If you're just joining us, we'll not have a show for you tomorrow as Jeremy is going to be leaving on a jet plane.
We've done this entirely too long because I was getting ready to sing that. We have done this together for way too long.
He packed his bags last night. Pre-flight. 0 hour, 7 a.m. Anyhow, he's going to be going down to the Dolphins-Jets game. So, and you know what? We're taking the day. We're taking the day to let him enjoy his Christmas present. I'm going to get some shut-eye.
I'm going to go to South Beach and spend 2 days like that walrus that washed ashore in England. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it.
Google it.
Because I can't say it here. Not the activity, but I will look like a big fat walrus washed up on South Beach.
All right, Carolina Panthers eliminated from playoff contention last week with the loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Bucs are going to the playoffs as the 4 seed, and the Panthers are out of the playoff picture. They play in the New Orleans Saints, who are also out of the playoff picture. And to be honest with you, so I said don't screw around and win this game. But actually nothing's going to happen if you win this game. If they win this game, I mean, I haven't confirmed this myself, but I heard it earlier. I think Adam Gold was talking about this. If they win the game, they lose all the tiebreakers, or they win all the tiebreakers for the higher pick with all of the other teams that are 7-10 or could be 7-10. So you could actually go in and win this game and it have no effect on where you're picking. You're going to be picking 9th anyway.
But if you were to lose and Atlanta and Las Vegas were to win, now you're in a better position for a quarterback. So, you know what? Maybe just don't worry about that and lose, and we'll figure it out on the backside.
I don't think that's how this is going to go, though. I really don't. The more and more I look at this, this is – we all know where this is going, right? And I think the players know where this is going, too. This could be the last game with Steve Wilkes. So – there might be that whole let's go out here and just bust the Saints in the mouth and win.
Mm-hmm. You've watched entirely too many Disney movies. New Orleans has 0 incentive to lose. 0. And they're playing for a coach, too. Now, this may not be a coach that they're particularly fond of, but I am taking the New Orleans Saints.
Are you now? I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. Again, it bit me last week, but again, it's a 3.5-point spread. So I get Carolina plus 3.5. If they do the thing they should do, which I feel is lose, I expect it to be close. So I'm taking Carolina. And you'll take New Orleans to cover the 3.5.
Correct. Jacqueline, our YouTube comment said, wait, Tank's not going to do episodes without you? Didn't you just have to do an episode without him? Make him work while you're going. Well, that's a good philosophy, except I can do the buttons that he has. He would burn the building down with mine.
More than likely.
Because he has, 10? You have 10 buttons over there?
I do.
I have 200. So, and I'm not going to ask him to learn that in 48 hours.
Yeah, I'm not up to do streams by myself. So
well, it's also on both sides of the table. So it really requires 2 people to be here.
Exactly.
Specifically the one that runs my side.
Exactly. It's Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints. You think you think the Panthers will do the smart thing?
I don't think it's not so much that I think they're going to try to lose. I think New Orleans is just better than they are.
Okay.
I mean, New Orleans has no incentive to lose because you gave up your first-round pick.
Yep.
So I could see it's been a good Alvin Kamara game.
It was good last week to see the New Orleans Saints, get Marshawn Lattimore back in the fold, and he made a big play at the end of the game. So maybe so. Maybe that defense is worth talking about here. I see Carolina not giving up.
I don't think they're going to give up. I just think New Orleans is going to beat them.
Right. They're not going to tank this thing. And it's not. I'm not saying that New Orleans. This is a game that they have to tank because in order for New Orleans to win. New Orleans can definitely win this game with everybody trying. But I'm going to go with Carolina. I'll take Carolina again, plus the 3.5.
Well, you've got to make up a few games, so there have to be a few disagreements.
Yeah. I got some work to do. Next up in the NFC, 4:25 start, Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants.
This is so hard for me because the number is gigantic.
I mean, it's 14.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points. I've been struggling with this game because, okay, Jalen Hurts, he's on the path, right? He's on the path to
We
start
think he's
this
going
week.
to play, yes.
We think he's going to play. He was limited in practice yesterday, so that's a positive sign. They definitely don't want Gardner Minshew back at quarterback if they can help it.
No.
So I feel like that's going to happen. And once Jalen Hurts comes back, I don't care about the Lane Johnson thing. I know it's going to make a difference.
It certainly makes a difference.
It makes a difference for the offensive line, but I think Jalen Hurts comes back, gives them the spark that they need. They will be able to take care of business against New York because I don't buy into New York's going to be taking many risks in this game.
No.
Nothing they do will change anything.
No, they're the 6th seed regardless.
Right. So am I going to press Adoree Jackson back into action before the playoffs?
No. Or Leonard Williams or
Azeez Ojulari?
Yep.
Am I throwing him out there?
John Feliciano. Any of these guys that have that questionable tag, that should really say highly doubtful.
Right.
But that's not the question.
Okay.
The question is, are they going to cover 14 full points?
Yes.
I'm taking the New York Giants. Give me Giants plus 14.
Yeah, I'm taking Philadelphia. I know it's a lot of points.
I can easily see this being a backdoor cover. Philadelphia gets out to a big lead. Then you see Gardner Minshew come in to protect Jalen Hurts for the playoffs, and the Giants end up losing by 10.
Mm-hmm.
How many teams in the NFL are better at covering spreads than the New York Giants?
I guess none.
It is 0. They are 12-4 against the spread this year.
That's fair. Another 4:25 start for the NFC out in the NFC West. The San Francisco 49ers at home against the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, this is not going to be close. Right?
It's not going to be close, but man, that's a lot of points.
And I don't care. I was on the fence about the other one. I'm not on the fence about
either.
this.
It's the 49ers by a lot.
If they don't win by 28, I'll be surprised.
I heard Greg Cosell say something about Brock Purdy, that he has lighter feet, and in play action, that's why he's been so effective for the 49ers. I agree with all of that. B, I'm looking at a Cardinals team. You know the coach is done. Now the reports come out that Kyler Murray's not even going to be ready for next season.
No.
I just feel like there are very few teams in this league that are more listless right now than the Arizona Cardinals. I could see this being a flat performance. San Francisco has a little bit to play for.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need some help, but it's enough for me. Yeah. I'm taking San Francisco minus the 14.
Yeah. San Francisco, to me, is a team that – here's the scary part. They've won 9 games in a row, right? We haven't seen the best this team can be. We haven't seen it all come together just yet. Deebo Samuel's fully practicing. He's gonna be back. Elijah Mitchell, I know it's the Christian McCaffrey show, but Elijah Mitchell adds a little spell back to that whole running game. And I think that's going to matter. They're going to get tougher. The defense, last week was a bad game. You picked a bad week to have a bad week. They gave up 500 yards and 34 points to Jarrett Stidham last week, which is not good. But do we expect that to continue? Everybody has that burn.
Trace McSorley or David Blau.
Everybody has that burn the tape game, right? I feel like that's what we saw against the Raiders last week for the San Francisco 49ers. They still have the number 1 defense. I'm not concerned. And I think they go out and they don't take super risks because they can win this game in a walk without taking risks and still be the number 2 seed or still have a shot at the number 1 seed because they need Philadelphia to lose in order to get it.
I just want you to say this out loud. The San Francisco 49ers, who probably have the best defense in the NFL, are playing against a quarterback whose last name is the word I use playing Call of Duty when I blow things up. Blow!
Blow! Indeed.
I don't care if it's pronounced bluff. It's spelled blow.
Seahawks host the Rams.
Could this be the first game in NFL history where the two teams just don't show up? Like, I don't want to.
Well, now, wait a minute. Seattle's playing for a playoff berth here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need what is it that they need? Oh, they need Aaron Rodgers to lose to the Detroit Lions.
He's already done it once this year.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago in a world far, far away.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a playoff implication game. It's not like we're going in, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. We're in it to win it, and Seattle should take care of business.
I love betting anomalies. This is a 6-point spread.
Mm-hmm.
How much of the money's on the Rams?
38%.
97%.
Really? But why?
It's a doozy of a question. It's a doozy of a question you got there because I really don't know.
See, now I could have understood it because I did it last week. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah, you picked the Rams to win an NFL football game.
No, I didn't. I picked them to. I picked them to cover the spread, my friend.
Which is enough because it wasn't a huge spread.
Yeah, it was 6, I think.
Something like
6.5, something like that. And so I thought, a week after putting up 51 points, maybe it was going to be a closer game than it was. It didn't end up being. And I don't think this is. I think Seattle wins.
I do too.
And comfortably. I got Seattle minus the 6.
Yeah, I'm not. I said I love betting anomalies. I didn't say I was going with it. Yeah, I'm taking Seattle minus the 6.
All right, taking Seattle minus the 6 across the board here. Again, we will get Asheville Police Chief David Zack's picks, post those up on social media tomorrow once we receive them, and whenever Jeremy lands in Miami, I'm sure he will rush to getting that.
I will probably be doing it on the plane if I had a wager, because I would say he will send them to me tonight.
Mm-hmm. So anyhow,
look, it's not a long flight, but it's a boring flight.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Still 2 games to cover in the NFC when we come back. When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-290-5599. That's 1-800-290-5599. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-290-5599. That's 1-800-290-5599.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, ain't it?
And welcome back into a Football Thursday here on ESPN Asheville. We're chugging our way through the NFC slate in the final week of the regular season in the NFL.
It's always so sad.
It is. I don't know what to do with myself now because, fantasy football's over. I don't have like 18 million rosters that I have to update.
I'll tell you what you could do.
What?
You could make your draft miss list. Check it twice, find out who's naughty and nice. Let's go.
Okay.
Draft miss season, baby.
We all know Stetson Bennett should be the number 1 pick, and that's all we really need to know. The Washington Commanders.
I think I have blood getting out of my ear.
And the Dallas Cowboys will kick off at 4:25 at FedEx Field, and Dallas is a 7-point favorite, and I think that's all you need to know. The fact that that's not a double-digit spread to me is kind of shocking.
Yeah, because the Cowboys have a lot to play for.
Mm-hmm. We got a chance.
You need help, but you've got a lot to play for.
Right. They're stuck in the 5, probably, because Philadelphia and San Francisco will both have to lose for them to get the number 1, or to get home field advantage and clinch the NFC East. Now,
all Philadelphia has to do is lose.
Right. Philadelphia.
That makes you a division winner.
Right. Philadelphia loses and you win the NFC East. And you get the home playoff game.
Which is a big deal.
But you can still get the number 1 seed.
And that's happening at the same time. I'm not going to lie. And you got a rookie playing for Washington.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me a lot about how Vegas views Dallas, whether they put them there in power rankings or not.
Sam Howell getting the start for the Washington Commies and
Commandos. I want to see if you have the huevos to do it.
To do what? To say Dallas is going to smoke them like a honey ham? Yeah. Yeah. Dallas -7 all day long.
I don't need to be taking risks here, but man, I want to.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to do it. I'm taking Washington.
I'm surprised you're even thinking about this.
I'm taking Washington +7.
But why?
I don't think I don't think Dallas' defense is as good as people let on. I think Sam Howell should have been starting for this team all year long.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me everything I need to know that Taylor Heineke went to Ron Rivera and said, no, the kid deserves a full game. And this is a team that really needs him to be good so they don't have to make a move at quarterback in the offseason because you don't have a whole lot of alternatives. I could see a path where Washington throws everything at them but the kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you they win, but I think Sam Howell's going to look really good. And if you're playing on DraftKings this week and you're not starting Sam Howell, I need you to take a pen and a piece of paper and write me a 1,000-word essay on why.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we learned this last week with Jared Stidham.
I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to crush them.
I don't. I could see an easy path where this game ends up 13-7 or something just gross like that.
Right. To me, this is one of those games. We talk about all these games where the teams are just like, we don't care, nothing's going to happen. That's how I see Washington.
I don't view Washington that way. I don't. Because there is a low-key rumbling that they could be playing for Ron Rivera's job, and you talk about a team that will play for a coach, that's
it.
one.
Interesting. Just lay down. Let him be fired. It'll be fine. Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. That's the prime time game on Sunday night, and it is for all the marbles in the playoff hunt here. Green Bay wins, they're in. Detroit pulls the upset. They also need Seattle to lose to make the playoffs, but it's still a shot that the Lions could make it into the field of 7 for the NFC. I'm taking Detroit plus the 4.5. I am.
We have way too many disagreements in a week that we need to be agreeing because I just need to beat you. I don't think this game's even close. Jared Goff outside at night in Lambeau. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.
I'm going with the narrative here.
This is a heavy Vegas lean, too, for Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Vegas lean. And I don't see it in the least. This has inexperienced, young Detroit Lion team that desperately needs a win to have any shot at making the playoffs. And I have two thoughts here. This is going to go one of two ways. Either Seattle just totally poos in its punch bowl, and they don't have a shot anyway. Well, they win outright, and then they lay down. Or they keep it close, and Aaron Rodgers does that thing he does in the last 2 minutes of a game.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being tied late. Aaron Rodgers goes down and scores a touchdown on some play that's just absolutely insane.
I was going to ring the bell until you said that touchdown thing because I don't think that's how that goes.
Oh, that's what you think. They lose, but they lose by field goal.
Oh, yeah. Detroit's not making the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers will win this. They will go to the playoffs, but they're only going to win by a field goal. I think it'll be a competitive game. It'll be close throughout. It'll come down to the last drive. Aaron Rodgers will get them in field goal range and then hope that the special teams doesn't screw it up.
See, and that's my thing is I don't think Green Bay would trust their special teams. Even with Rich Bisaccia, I don't care.
Green Bay fans wouldn't trust it.
No.
But Matt LaFleur would.
Yeah, and that's something I thought about. How many times do you have to get burned by special teams with playoff ramifications before you go, you know what? Maybe just let Aaron do it.
He hasn't done it so far, and so I'm erring on the side of Green Bay wins, but 4.5 is too much. That's too many points. I'm taking Detroit plus the 4.5.
And I'm looking at this like a water ride at an amusement park. You will get beat. You may get slaughtered.
It's a great
and I think there is a high probability. And it's not that I think Green Bay's that much better. I think they have a lot of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is I get Aaron Rodgers, you get Jared Goff. It's
Absolutely.
outside. You're young. I'm not. I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Experience wins the day, and we told you yesterday, Aaron Rodgers has had 3 times in his career where the last day of the season he needed to get a win to make the playoffs, and he's done it all 3 times. So he probably does it this weekend. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Tar Heel time coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cooler numbers settling in for the weekend, feeling a little more like January should. We get down to 32 in the valley tonight and higher elevations in the 20s tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, low 33, and we'll see 40s and 50s this weekend with nighttime low temps in the 20s. That is closer to where we should be this time of winter. Some light rains coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by KFC. All comfort, only $5. For a limited time, get KFC's pot pie for just $5. Made with tender chicken, delicious veggies, savory sauce, and topped with a flaky crust. Only at KFC. That's finger licking good.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bill safety Damar Hamlin is beginning to awaken as he shows substantial improvement over the past 24 hours as he recovers after going into cardiac arrest following a hit during Monday night's game against the Bengals, according to doctors at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center involved in his care. Hamlin is still considered critically ill and that significant progress is still needed. His neurological condition is intact. Hamlin unable to speak, but is able to communicate in writing. Dr. Timothy Pritz of the UC Medical Center.
We were in the situation where we wanted to allow him to gradually, wake up as the rest of his body was healing. Last night he was able to emerge and follow commands and even ask who had won the game.
The Bills today are holding their first full practice of the week as they get ready to host the Patriots on Sunday. Texas has fired men's basketball coach Chris Beard as he faces a felony domestic violence charge stemming from a December 12th incident involving his fiancée.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene. Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
You are in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 in the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere around the world. Take us with you everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. And yes, you can also see us on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat throughout the program, and help me welcome in our next guest, as we do every Thursday, most Thursdays anyway, when we don't have holidays and such getting in the way. It is time for Tar Heel time with the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones Angel. And Jones, I know we haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks because of the holidays. How was it? Did the holidays treat you well?
Tank, they did. It was a busy stretch there. Had that really busy week where the Tar Heels unfortunately didn't have a lot of success, but played on both coasts. We were out in San Diego for the Holiday Bowl, and a terrific ball game, of course. Unfortunately, didn't end up the way Carolina wanted there in the final moments. And then went out to Pittsburgh, and Carolina came up a little short there, too, in a game in which they controlled most of the way. But nice bounce back from Carolina last night here in the Smith Center against Wake Forest. And I tell you, Tank, I think one thing we've learned here through the first couple of weeks of conference play is two things. One, it feels like it's a pretty wide-open ACC right now. I mean, Pitt and Clemson are the two teams at the top of the league. I'm not sure anybody would have guessed that at the beginning of the season.
Not
But
sustainable.
also, too, there's a lot of good teams. I don't know if there's a great team in the ACC right now, but I think there's a lot of good to really good teams. I mean, from everything I've seen of Clemson, they're good. I think Wake's good, Pitt's good. I think NC State is better than it has been. I think Duke, I know they struggled against the Pac, but obviously they have a lot of talent. Carolina certainly has the capability of being very good. Virginia's good. Virginia Tech's had some good moments. So, I mean, there's a lot of quality teams, and I'm just naming some, not all. There's a lot of good teams in this league. And so I think the next 2 months are going to be a really big battle almost every single game, where even, for example, you've got Miami, who was and is having a really good season, and they go to Georgia Tech last night, who hadn't won a conference game, and Georgia Tech beats them. And so it's a very competitive league, and I think any win you can get is a good one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think anyone has shown that they are head and shoulders above everybody else in this league,
Yep.
and that always makes for a good stretch run here. I mean, at the end, do we expect at the end of the season for the Tar Heels and the Blue Devils to kind of rise above the cream, rise into the top? Always. I think we all expect that each and every week. I did not mention this earlier in the program. I feel it's a good time to do that. Has everybody been to diddukewin.com today? Just throwing that out there. This is the one time that I will, raise the old banner of the Wolfpack. Good on you guys.
And I'll say it did not surprise me that NC State won that game. Duke has had trouble in Raleigh. Sometimes there's just places where teams have trouble, and Duke, for whatever reason, has had trouble in Raleigh. State can really score, but the margin did surprise me. I mean, I think any time that you see a team the quality of Duke or Carolina or any team like that, that's down 20-2 and 24-4 and never really able to get back in the ball game, that was surprising. And so, sure, it's a frustrating result for Duke, but they've got a lot of talent, and they'll, I'm sure, bounce back and head in the right direction. From Carolina's perspective, Tank, it has been, I just wish the Tar Heels could have about that last 6 minutes back against Pittsburgh, because I think you'd feel a lot differently about how the Tar Heels were playing right now had they been able to execute a little better down the stretch against what, again, I think is a very good Pittsburgh team at their place. The Tar Heels are playing better. They are not where they need to be, but I think the last 6 games where they're 5-1, you can see what this team has the potential to be. They've still got to get better defensively. They need to have the same level of offensive execution on the road that they've been able to have at home, because they've been a much better offensive team in the Smith Center than they have been away from home. So they've got to find a way to travel that offensive execution. But it is a team that you can see has some pieces. And even with the fact, that Pete Nance only is able to play 2 minutes last night because he has back spasms, and you could tell he was extraordinarily uncomfortable. I mean, that was what kept him out some in that second half against Pitt, and then it just locked up immediately, as soon as that game got going last night. And credit to Carolina for being able to manage that personnel loss with Justin McCoy giving him some good minutes. Jalen Washington gave some good minutes. Puff Johnson, DeMarco Dunn gave him a couple minutes. And then, of course, Seth Trimble was terrific, one of the biggest players in the game for the Tar Heels against Wake. And so I thought that was a really quality win for Carolina last night against a good Wake team that, in my opinion, I haven't seen Wake every single game, but a good Wake team that played well. And for Carolina to be able to withstand that and win, I thought was an important step for the Tar Heels last night.
One major question coming out of the last 2 games has been the play of Caleb Love. The offense has not been there for him. He's 6 of 24 from the floor in the last 2 games, and it's got all the fan pages buzzing, asking the question, what's up with Caleb? We got because if we're going to be a national championship caliber team like we all expect it to be, Caleb's got to be hitting those shots.
Well, and I think maybe even more important than that, Tank, is 2 things. If the shots aren't going in, then he has to make sure that that doesn't mean absolutely stop shooting, because I talked to Theo Pinson about this last year. and Theo would know better than you or than me. He said on a basketball team, you need that guy who doesn't know if he's 15 of 17 from the floor or 1 of 17 from the floor, that he's still ready to shoot the next shot. And I think we can all agree that is Caleb Love. Caleb is ready to shoot, no matter how the night has gone. And that's okay. But what I do think is important is that if it's clear that it is not a night when the shots are going in at a high frequency, that you are a little smarter with the shots you take, both in the quality of shots and in the timing of the shots. For example, last night Carolina was up, I can't remember, Tank, it was 6 or 8, right in that range, still in the first half. And Caleb Love took 3 consecutive not very good shots. And Wake was able to score, I think, on every possession, and that made a 6 or 8 point game. I think it tied it up. And so you just have to have some more awareness of the situation, in my opinion, in that scenario. That doesn't mean stop shooting, because Carolina needs Caleb Love to shoot, and they need him to hit big shots, because that is part of his role and something that he has shown that he can and is willing to do. But it has to be, in my opinion, a more measured opportunity. Again, both the timing of the shot and the quality of the shot. The other part of that is, and I thought Caleb was much, 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 much better at this last night than he was in the Pittsburgh game, was if the shots aren't going in, you can't let that affect the rest of your game. And I thought Caleb was much better defensively last night than he was against Pittsburgh. He did not let the fact that he was not having a good shooting night bleed over to a defensive effort or lack of hustle or being sloppy with the ball. He had a couple turnovers early, but not as the game went on. And so, to me, I mean, Caleb Love still has value for the Tar Heels in total, even if his shots aren't going in. And so, hey, they're not going to go in every night, but make sure that your value is still there as a basketball player in total, even if the ball isn't going in the basket.
Yeah, I'm never one of these that says, no player should ever have a slump or trouble finding the bottom of the bucket or whatever. I guess it always comes back for me, is there an underlying problem that we don't know about or that's not being highlighted? Like, is his health okay? Is he dealing with an ankle or anything that we may not know about?
Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, no. I don't think there's anything else going on physically with Caleb Love other than I don't think the shots are going in as frequently as he would like here in this little stretch. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, and there's also been some games here recently where he's hit some big shots. I mean, it's just going to go both ways. And, look, Caleb Love's always been a volume shooter. I mean, he is not a guy that has traditionally in his career, gone 5 of 7. Yeah, there's going to be some shots that are taken, and that's just the player that he is, and that's okay. For Carolina, I also think it is important that they are able to find some perimeter offense if Caleb Love is having an off night, and that I do think has been one of the issues for the Tar Heels this year, is they haven't been able to find that consistent outside shot, both through Caleb Love, who's shooting, I believe, below 30% from three-point range at the moment, or in total. And some of that is R.J. Davis hasn't shot great, although his percentage is continuing to creep up. I think his is trending in the right direction.
As I say, got a little bump last night.
Yeah, of course. I think he was 5 of 8 maybe from 3 last night, so that's obviously going to help. You don't have Brady Manick, who was a terrific shooter. And so you've got to find different ways to be able to be effective. Pete Nance has shown the ability to hit shots. He is not somebody who necessarily is going to hit a bunch of them from the outside, but I think he's capable. Leaky Black has become a very capable three-point shooter. You don't want him going one-on-one and trying to step back three, but can he hit that corner or sideline three-pointer after penetration or a pass to the post and it kicks back out? Absolutely he can. That's become a very valuable weapon in his offensive repertoire. And so I think, we've talked, Tank, as you and I have talked this year, about every year is different and every team is different. And that is the case. Even though Carolina has so many similar pieces from last year, it is not exactly the same team. And so they are still in the process, and I think very naturally in the process of figuring out how they can best be successful. And look, you don't want to take a bunch of losses, and Carolina, it has more losses than it wants right now. It hasn't had so many that they're out of the game by any stretch, but they have more than they want right now. But also, you don't necessarily want to be a finished product right now. I think this is a very natural journey that you're on, where I do think Carolina's better than it was a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and you want that process to continue so that 2 months from now, when you and I are talking, we're talking about how this team's taken such big steps and strides, and they've really figured out how they can best be successful, and that doesn't guarantee they win every game, but that they are putting themselves in that position every time out.
Why would Tar Heel fans be doing themselves a disservice if they completely discounted the Notre Dame game coming up on Saturday, 11:30, and you just look at it and go, well, Notre Dame, they're not good. They haven't won an ACC game yet. What should concern us?
Well, a couple of different things. Number one, the fact that it's an ACC opponent. I mean, so first and foremost, you're playing a team that has good players, that has a good coach. We certainly know that Mike Bray is a successful head coach. It's somebody who has a long list of accomplishments in his career. And the thing about Notre Dame is that they've got some older players. I mean, not just some guys who have been on the team, Cormac Ryan, Dane Goodwin. Nate Laszewski is still there, and he seems to play well against the Tar Heels every time they see him. But they've brought in some transfers as well. I mean, this is a really old veteran group, and they do the things that Notre Dame does well. You know, they don't foul very much, which that's a big part of Carolina's offense, is getting to the free throw line. They shoot the three-pointer well and have multiple guys on the floor that can shoot, which always stresses the defense. They share the ball well. They're always good at making that extra pass and finding the open guy. So is Notre Dame where it wants to be? They're 8-7 through 15 games? No, obviously not. But just like I said about the Tar Heels, this is a group that's still trying to figure it out. They have plenty of good players, a good coach. And, yeah, I'll again mention Nate Laszewski. I mean, he's had some huge games against the Tar Heels. In the COVID season, he had over 20 points in the Smith Center. Carolina was able to win that game, but he still had a big day. Hit the game winner against the Tar Heels a couple seasons ago. Had a big game last year in South Bend when the Tar Heels saw him. So he can really play, and for whatever reason, he loves seeing Carolina. So Notre Dame, plenty capable. I do think, Tank, that Carolina has, as most teams are, Carolina has been much better at home than it has been on the road. So that's a benefit, certainly for the Tar Heels, even with the early start time being in the Smith Center. I thought the crowd was terrific last night against Wake Forest. I thought the crowd helped Carolina win that game with its energy and enthusiasm, and you saw Carolina feed off of that. And so it will not be easy. There are some positive things for Carolina, but this, just like every game from this point until the season is over, is going to be a fight because you're going against a high-quality ACC caliber team.
And it's going to be a brunch time atmosphere Saturday, the 11:30 tip-off at the Dean E. Smith Center. And, of course, we'll have the coverage of Jones Angell and the rest of the Tar Heel crew right here on ESPN Asheville. Is there like a special theme to the game while we're playing at 11:30 on Saturday?
You know, Tank, I don't know why this game is actually before noon. And I was actually talking to somebody. I can't remember another game. Now, there's been times when Carolina was playing on the West Coast, or even earlier this year. They played Portland at 1 o'clock Eastern time. That was 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast where they were playing. I just don't remember a game on the East Coast that was played before noon. And so I don't know if it's a window of TV opportunity that ESPN's trying to take advantage of. I know they have their traditional crew that will be calling their primetime Saturday games once they get into that action starting next week. That crew is here to produce this game. So I don't know if they had it earlier in the day for some reason because of that, but it is certainly a unique game time for sure. In fact, The Tar Heels have started something this year called the Tip-Off Club, where they have tents and it's free for all fans out in front of the Smith Center, where you can go and there's a bar and there's food and TVs and stuff like that. And so I think they've got some mimosas and stuff going on for this one, because it is going to be an early start for sure for this one.
Definitely will be, and we'll hear from you on Saturday right here on ESPN Asheville. Of course, we'll touch base with you next Thursday and see how the week treats us.
Sounds good, Tank. Talk to you soon.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will switch gears here. Coming up after the break, we'll start picking all the games in the AFC in this pivotal Week 18 in the NFL.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Merriman Avenue and US 1923 exit 3. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue in the Grace area, traffic is very busy. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Smiley's Flea Market area. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, some light delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Stock up and save big now store-wide at the Lowe's Truckload event. For a limited time, get up to 50% off select tools and accessories from the brands you trust. While supplies last, selection varies by location, valid 12/29 through 1/11.
Hey, this is Peter Schrager from the NFL Network's morning show, Good Morning Football. You've also seen me on NFL Sidelines and in studio for Fox Sports on Sunday. Well, I've got a new podcast with iHeart in the NFL, and we're calling it The Season with Peter Schrager. In each episode of this season, I'm going to empty my proverbial notebook and take you inside and behind the scenes on the conversations that happen at the highest levels of NFL franchises. Listen to The Season with Peter Schrager on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Start the new year by making your home feel like new with the advanced cleaning of Zero Res. Take advantage of their New Year sale. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119 when you mention ESPN Asheville. You'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It's a Football Thursday here on ESPN Asheville. You're just joining us on the program. We will not be with you tomorrow as Jeremy's going to be on a jet plane heading down to Miami to see his Jets.
I have a lot of flights scheduled over the next few months.
Which
Like a lot.
He's the traveling man.
I didn't really realize that until I looked at my itinerary for the next few months and went, man, that's a lot of flying. I think I got out of corporate America to not do that, but
here you are.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'll just living the dream. LIVIN.
There is that.
Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. They're the first game in the AFC, actually in the NFL slate, coming up on Saturday afternoon at 4:30. And, I mean, the Chiefs should win this blindfolded.
One would think.
But you got the Las Vegas Raiders who pulled a stunner last week. They took on the San Francisco 49ers, and Jarrett Stidham came in and threw, well, he didn't throw for, but the total offense was 500 yards against that number one defense.
Jarrett Stidham threw for 360-some-odd yards.
Right.
About that. So, Jarrett Stidham's played in 3 NFL games. 2 of them were against my Jets. If you didn't see last week, you would be asking, why is this kid in the NFL? Because he is bad. I have a funny feeling you're going to see that this week. I didn't think about this for a second. I think Kansas City's going to slaughter the Raiders.
Right. And I would agree with that. It's a 9-point spread, and I don't see anything spicy happening here. But I will say I didn't see it happening last week either. I thought that was going to be a game with the drama surrounding Derek Carr and being sat down and Jarrett Stidham coming in. I thought there's no chance that they're going to be able to hang with the San Francisco 49ers. But they did. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, these tend to be closer games, regardless of record.
Well, and Kansas City has not been good at covering spreads this year.
They're notorious for not covering big spreads.
9's not really a big spread.
It made me think about it.
I didn't think about it.
It made me think about it. But Kansas City should win this game in a walk, in my opinion. And that's the first check mark to pushing the season or pushing the postseason back and having to have the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals make up that game from Monday night. Because Kansas City wins, they could be the number 1 seed. Yeah, but the Buffalo Bills, if they were tied with Kansas City, they would have the number 1 seed because they have the head-to-head win that come from behind victory back in October. And I just feel like we're on the path to having to do some schedule shifting, get that game in, and it all starts with the Chiefs. What should be dogging the Raiders.
It tells me a lot that we're to Thursday. And there hasn't been an announcement yet. I keep seeing these fake news reports on social media. They've decided to cancel the game. I can't tell you that's not going to happen in 2 hours.
It could.
It very well could. I'm going to have to ask why. You've waited this long? That tells me that you're really considering something.
They have to. They have to. The only way to be fair. 8:15 on Saturday night. You get the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's all on the line. The AFC South is on the line in this one. Can the Jacksonville Jaguars win the division? Will the Tennessee Titans be remembered as the team that blew what was expected to be in the bag for them to be division champions? One of these teams is going to be remembered as the GOAT, or the scapegoat, and the other one is going to be seen as the upstart. That might give you a little window into where I'm leaning on this game. We'll discuss it in depth coming up in just a minute. First, let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, Jeremy, I'm going to let you break the ice on today's weird news.
I'm going to have to very delicately tell my story.
I always love it when he starts with that, like, okay.
It's from the state of Louisiana. People that have been adhering to their usual online predilections have discovered that there is a new law that was enacted on January 1st that if you go to adult sites, you have to upload your driver's license because there's a new firewall that prevents people that are not of age from viewing such material. That's not really why I'm telling this story. They have a ton of rules on it. One of them is that the age verification only matters if the site is over 33.3% adult. I have a question, Mr. Lawmaker. How many websites have you ever seen that were like 30% adult things and 70% stock tips? Or 25% adult things and 75% traffic reports? Does that exist and I'm just missing it? Or that feels like something that went into legislation where somebody went, this is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. There is also, and this is, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. There's another part of the law that says you don't have to have age verification if it's bona fide news or a public interest broadcast. Question number 2, Mr. Lawmaker, could you define either of those two things? Could you tell me a situation where either of those two things have ever happened in the history of ever? You ever been watching the evening news and just going, oh, well, there's that. That's bona fide news, honey. There's a good excuse, by the way. It's a research, bona fide news. No big deal. I asked the governor of Louisiana.
Nice.
So when I found that story this morning, I laughed. I bet it was for a solid 20 minutes. Just reading through the law going, that seems like a lot of loopholes for, okay, whatever. That's why I don't write laws.
There are not very many loopholes in the laws about bringing, illicit drugs into prisons. That's typically a no-no, right?
Yeah, just don't do that.
It's especially a no-no if you happen to be an officer at said facility because, hey, who's shocked? Hillsborough County, Florida. A detention deputy was sworn into his role over a year ago. Well, he's in trouble because he was caught bringing in pot brownies to the detention facility and apparently sharing it with everyone. Not just within his officers, but with the inmates as well. Now, we've seen stories like this over and over again. Certain cop gets in trouble because he's sneaking stuff into the prisoners, and this is not out of the ordinary. What was out of the ordinary to me was the response of the sheriff, because when he gave a statement, he said that this officer had pledged to uphold all that is good and just, and his greed got the best of him. Think about this is still quoting. Think about the danger this creates. It can lead to gambling, and it can lead to violence. So your biggest concern with pot brownies being brought to a jail, by the way, is gambling.
So I feel like you and I watched Cheech and Chong very differently. I don't think I ever saw Tommy Chong running a dice game or Cheech Marin with violent tendencies.
No, but shockingly,
it would be violent to a bag of McDonald's maybe, but not to another person.
I don't know. Like, gambling is the biggest gateway for marijuana, apparently. I thought it was just overeating and eating more. But no, apparently gambling is the biggest concern of the Hillsborough County Sheriff when it comes to pot brownies.
Some interesting poker games you're taking down. What are they wagering? Funyuns? All in.
I mean,
four bags of Doritos.
Is it just Hollywood or that has made me believe this, or is gambling not already like one of the pillars of justice in the criminal justice system, right?
What do you mean pillars of justice? I don't think you used any of those words correctly.
No, I know, but my point is, think about everything you've ever seen. Like, I've never been to prison, don't want to go to prison, don't plan to
wouldn't
go to
fare
prison.
well.
I will not make it to prison
No.
if that ever arises.
No,
Just warning you now. Like, oh no, Tank got Clintoned. No, he didn't. He did that himself because he knows he's not going to do well in prison.
That first day would be a rough day.
Ever seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah. Let me give you a piece of advice. If you ever wind up in jail, you find somebody that looks like me, and you become their best friend.
But in all of these, I mean, every depiction you've ever seen of jail, what are they doing? They're gambling on everything. They're playing dice, they're playing cards, they're playing dominoes, they're, basketball games, whatever it is. Guys like to gamble. It's not the pot, Sheriff, I promise you.
All right, it's a total aside, but it's what made me, this is what I thought of as you were saying that. Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
The sitcom?
Mm-hmm.
There was an episode where Barney ends up in this game, and it's got dominoes and dice, and they're not speaking English, and nobody in the group knows what game they're playing. That one time happened to me, where I got into a game that I wasn't even sure I understood what was happening. I mean, I won. To this day, I couldn't tell you how. I had to flip over a domino, and then everybody went, oh, and pushed chips at me. And I went, I like this game.
And they all went, Bazinga! And Jeremy wins.
I don't know why I like this game, and I don't understand this game, but I like winning.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Make 2023 the year that you change your life and you win that battle with your weight problem. It can happen for you. I mean, I've said this time and time again in my life. I'm going to do better this year. I'm going to lose the weight. 2022, that was the year for me. The PhD weight loss program helped me lose more than 90 pounds last year. And if you're looking to win that battle, PhD's the way to go.
Many people in the new year say, new year, new me. The only problem is that they use a lot of the same tendencies, which leads to new year, same you. Sometimes you need a little help, and that's what PhD gives you. They give you plenty of the food. They give you all the direction, all the guidance. If it works for a guy like me that was as lazy with my food choices as I was, it will work for you. PhD weight loss.
I lived all of my adult life around the 300-pound mark, and now I'm down around 200 pounds, and I feel infinitely better, as you can imagine. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. It's myphdweightloss.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cooler numbers settling in for the weekend, feeling a little more like January should. We get down to 32 in the valley tonight and higher elevations in the 20s tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, low 33, and we'll see 40s and 50s this weekend with nighttime low temps in the 20s. That is closer to where we should be this time of winter. Some light rains coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Merriman Avenue and US 1923 exit 3. 40 westbound delays between the Charlotte Highway and Sweeten Creek Road. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound in the Fletcher area, slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Smiley's Flea Market area. Merriman Avenue in the Grace area of North Asheville on the northbound side. Traffic is stop and go. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, FRS247.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
No one has the same taste as you.
You damn right.
From the music you love to the podcasts you can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Yes, that was the sigh of a guy who's getting ready to go on vacation.
I didn't know my mic was on yet. I was looking at the clock going, all right, we're halfway home.
It's a football Thursday here in the Sportsocracy, the Democratic Republic of Sports. And
if you're a common traveler, you know exactly where I'm at right now. As my flight is in 15 hours.
Got a lot to do.
No. There's a video, I think I saw it on TikTok, of there's two kinds of people that go to the airport. There's one that's like packed 3 days in advance. They get to the airport 4 hours before their flight starts, and they're at the gate going, "Can I get on the plane now?" No. And then there's one guy that's like drying his pants out the window of the car on the way. My wife is the former, and I am the latter.
Right. You ever had to do the mad dash to catch a flight? That's not fun.
I once ran through the Atlanta airport, Deion Sanders high step style, because I showed up 33 minutes before the plane was supposed to take off. It's 33, 35, somewhere like that.
Awesome.
I got all the way through TSA, and I was on the wrong side of the airport.
Oh, no.
And so I had to...
That train don't even go that fast, does it?
You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked how fast this guy can move on a non-refundable ticket.
I have never done that in a massive airport, but I have been to Asheville Regional Airport 22 minutes before the plane was supposed to take off, and somehow they worked with us to get us on that plane. Somehow we were able to do all of the things, check the bag, like they had to call the guy back to come get the bag to get it on the plane. And I was like trying to hold my pants up with one hand because I had to take the belt off for security and everything, running through the airport trying to catch this plane. It was not fun.
I hit a guy in Dallas-Fort Worth. Brian Urlacher did not have a hit this good because I was running and he changed his mind of where he was going last second.
Oh, dear.
And he took a right turn right into 6'4", 275 at full speed. I had to I needed a spatula to scrape that poor guy off the sidewalk. Like, sorry, buddy.
And that's one of those, sorry about your luck, got to go catch a plane.
Concussion protocol. You just sit him on that bench right there. Hey, you're going to have to keep an eye on him because he just got trucked.
All right, we got Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars on the Saturday night game, 8:15 on ESPN. It's in Jacksonville, and the winner will win the South. You've got two teams here that are just in completely different spaces. The Texans the Titans are playing like the Texans. They've lost 6 in a row, including one to the Texans. I mean, granted, in that stretch, they played all playoff teams, so it's not like it's just been a complete and utter collapse against bad teams, except for the Texans. But I mean, Jacksonville goes into this game with the obvious momentum.
What are the three things that I always ask about where you should lean on a game?
Who's at home?
That would be Jacksonville.
Who's got the better quarterback?
That would be Jacksonville.
Who has the better coach?
That's close. I'll go Tennessee, but it's close.
Yes, I'm with you on that one.
This is Jacksonville. I don't think this game's even close. I can honestly see a path where they beat them 28-10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I've heard this narrative that, Josh Dobbs was so good. No. That's just how bad the secondary of the Dallas Cowboys is. This is not a good quarterback. Do you know what his quarterback rating? Not QBR. His quarterback rating. The one that goes to 158.3. Do you know what that was when he was even vaguely under pressure?
No.
Not imminent pressure. Just somebody came free.
The passer rating, is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
29. That's hard to do.
29.
You'll be in the 30s if you just ground it into the turf every time you snap it.
Right.
He was awful. And I don't see a path that he's not going to be here. I mean, this is a no-win situation. This is a guy that you pulled off Detroit's practice squad 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You have no receivers. They know exactly what you're planning on doing. I mean, you've seen teams do this for 6 solid weeks. We know you're going to try to run Derrick Henry. We know he's going to have 100 yards. We don't care because you cannot beat us over the top. I'm taking Jacksonville minus 6.5. I didn't think about this for 2 seconds.
I didn't either. Like I said, Jacksonville has the obvious momentum going into this one. Trevor Lawrence has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league for the last 8 weeks, and I only see that continuing. They will get into the playoffs. They can already chalk this season up as a win. And now you're playing with house money. We'll see if you can be dangerous. See if you can be dangerous and go into the playoffs and make some noise against the Buffalo Bills or whoever.
And I think they can. I really do.
Really?
I do.
You think they could upset the number 2 seed?
I don't think they could upset Buffalo. I think they could beat somebody.
Okay.
I mean, the most likely scenario is that they're the 4.
Yep.
They play Baltimore in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Which side are you leaning?
Oh, I'm on Jacksonville.
I would be as well.
I'm on Jacksonville in that scenario. But we'll have to wait and see what the spread says when we get closer to that game, should it happen. But I like the Jacksonville Jaguars Saturday night against the Tennessee Titans.
We have 2 of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
One's from Armchair, who said USA Sweden is 6-6 in the World Juniors. I'm assuming that's hockey.
This is hockey, yeah.
That's got to be hockey. He also asked if there was a DFS show Sunday. That's up to you and Mr. Spencer. I'll be in South Beach. So,
and unless you know you can run the buttons over there.
Which would be difficult to do from Canada.
Indeed.
So I'm going to lean to no.
Yeah.
The other one we will talk about in the next hour because it's a really good topic that we want to give its flowers.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. So both games on Saturday are in the AFC. We will continue picking the games in the AFC when we come back from the break. One of the biggest games of the weekend, big implications for the playoffs. It's the first one on the slate at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Bills and the Pats next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Merriman Avenue and US 1923 exit 3. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. In the Fletcher area, Hendersonville Road southbound, south of Fanning Bridge Road to the Smiley's Flea Market area, traffic is slow. Sweden Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. 26 westbound delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, FRS247.com.
When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast.
Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com, sponsored by Pfizer.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing, I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Sports leagues are chock full of winners and losers.
Correct.
And I'm happy to call myself a loser because in a year, I've lost more than 90 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. It was last Thanksgiving week that met with Dr. Ashley Lucas. She told us this is the program to see great results. And she was not lying. More than 90 pounds down, I feel like a brand new Tank Spencer.
I did not have 90 pounds to lose, but I had gotten a little chunky. My food decisions had become very lazy, and I was causing some problems. I wasn't sleeping well. My knees hurt. Just over a year on this program, I'm back to my high school weight, sleeping like a baby, and everything's back to hunky-dunky, and it's all thanks to the plan and program of PhD Weight Loss.
It's the easiest program I've ever been on. They give you 80% of the food you need to have success, and you will just be amazed. I am proof positive that it can change your life and help you win that battle with your weight once and for all. Go to myphdweightloss.com. It's myphdweightloss.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
It is ESPN Asheville. We are the Sportsocracy, and we come to you, as always, live from the Ingles Studio. Week 18, picking them each and every game in the AFC. This hour, we did the NFC last hour, and we got the Patriots and the Bills in a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Start out this AFC slate for Sunday. And, I mean, I know that there's playoff implications for both of these teams, but I said it yesterday, and I'm going to continue to say it. I think the Buffalo Bills going to be locked in for the rest of the season, the rest of the run here.
Bill Buttigieg, one of our resident Patriots fans, said Bills by 80, and I'm a Patriots fan.
Absolutely.
And I'm right there with you.
Especially with the good news coming out with Damar Hamlin today. We're hearing that he's made substantial improvement. Neurologically, he is there as far as they can tell. He is opening his eyes and holding hands and writing to communicate. All of that is far better than we expected.
Did you happen to hear what the first question he asked when he woke up was?
No.
Did we win?
Oh,
I kid you not.
Dog. Damar Hamlin, dog.
Mm-hmm. That was the first question he asked. Did we win?
God, stuff like that makes the hair raise on the back of my neck.
If you were not an athlete and you do not understand how athletes are wired, that's probably the best way I can explain it.
Absolutely. Wow. Anyway, the incredible recovery that he has made and the positive signs that he has shown, the Buffalo Bills are out to win this thing for number 3. The rest of the season is going to be all about Damar Hamlin and winning this thing, and I think they will smoke everybody they come up against.
This is not a shot at New England.
No.
You're coming up against a force.
It's a force of nature that you can't get away from.
I cannot begin to explain to you.
Right. I know New England wants to win, but sorry about your luck. The Buffalo Bills are a team of destiny now. I've already written the script in my head.
And this is they may hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm. Because they can.
See, here's the thing. They've always had the potential to do that to each and every team in the NFL. They've just never brought it all together. Now there's supernatural forces at play, and I think they just stomp the lights out of the New England Patriots.
You're going more into the supernatural than I am.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying this is something that will tie you together, unlike virtually any event you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm. So Buffalo minus the 7?
Absolutely.
Didn't even think about it.
No.
For a second.
And I'll be honest with you, there wasn't a number high enough. You could not have put a number on that was high enough for me.
And then we got another game. Banger of a game.
And before we move off Buffalo, there's one thing that we didn't touch on here. It's in Buffalo, too. Not only do you have all the things we just said, it's in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Ravens at the Bengals. 1 o'clock kickoff on CBS. Cincinnati is a 7-point favorite. What's the deal with the Ravens? I mean, is Lamar going to play?
He's listed as questionable.
I don't know what to
I
think.
have to lean towards no.
This team's bad without him.
Well, here's the thing. This is going to get a little convoluted. If they don't make up this game, the division's already been locked up.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't make up Bills-Bengals, there is no shot Baltimore wins this division. So I feel like John Harbaugh has to have that in the back of his head of, well, there's a possibility that we'd win this game, and it means absolutely nothing. So if Lamar's not 100%, and I'll go ahead and tell you, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a way that you play him.
Am I putting the future in jeopardy, knowing that we're going to have to franchise him, knowing that he's off?
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about are we putting our playoff run in jeopardy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because worst case scenario, you're the 5 seed. And I think technically they could be the 6. But I'm not risking it. I'm going to assume it's Tyler Huntley. I want to say the Ravens cover anyway. I'm not going to. I really wish this was 7.5. If it's 7.5, I'd be taking Baltimore because I think 7's the right number.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see this being 27-20 Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep. I think Cincinnati will win this game. I'm not sure it's ever going to be really close.
Oh, I think it'll be close.
I don't know.
It seems to be every time AFC North teams get on a field together, it's close.
It's true. It's always a hard-fought battle.
I mean, when was the last time you really remember an NFC North team or an AFC North team getting blown out by somebody else in that division? Be these two teams last year.
Be Cleveland.
Cincinnati housed Baltimore once last year.
Didn't Cleveland embarrass Pittsburgh like a couple years ago? Wasn't that the playoff game?
They did.
I mean, it was just atrocious. Part of that whole back season slide that the Pittsburgh Steelers had when they were 11-0 and then ended up being 11-7 or whatever with a first round playoff exit.
And resident Ravens fan Stephen Tao asked a good question. Hold up, if they don't make up the game, Baltimore beats the Bengals, they will both have 11 wins, and Baltimore beat them twice. How does Cincinnati win the division? Because you have one more loss than they do. That's why people like me and Tank have been saying they have to make this game up. I don't care how you do it.
Yep.
You've got to find a way to do this. I hate to keep using sitcom references for shows that people may or may not have watched. There was The League. It was an old fantasy football show on FX. There was the Shenanigans season or whatever because they changed the draft order.
Right.
And so you never actually knew how it would have played out, and Ruxin loses his mind about that. That's where you're at here. The NFL has a collusion. That was
the collusion.
The NFL has enough conspiracy theorists as it is. You get into a path of you could affect Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Baltimore, all 4 by not making up a game. No shot the league lets that happen.
It's the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We got the Sports Center update coming up in just a few seconds. Next hour, we'll continue picking all the AFC games against the spread. We'll have a daily draft as well. Who knows what else we'll be able to get into by the end of the next hour here on a Football Thursday. Stick with us.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cooler numbers settling in for the weekend, feeling a little more like January should. We get down to 32 in the valley tonight and higher elevations in the 20s tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, low 33, and we'll see 40s and 50s this weekend with nighttime low temps in the 20s. That is closer to where we should be this time of winter. Some light rains coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Merriman Avenue and US 1923 exit 3. 26 eastbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway to approaching Airport Road. In this stretch, an accident near Long Shoals Road has the right shoulder closed. Haywood County, 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Merriman Avenue in the Grace area of North Asheville, traffic is stop and go. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is busy approaching Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound near Eastwood Road, a disabled vehicle center turn lane closed. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing is committed to quality and printing perfect every time. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more. Offer ends 2/11. See staples.com/stores/printbig for details. Try Staples and see the difference.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bill safety Damar Hamlin is beginning to awaken as he has shown substantial improvement over the past 24 hours in his recovery after going into cardiac arrest during Monday night's game. This according to doctors at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center involved in his care. Hamlin is still considered critically ill and that significant progress is still needed. His neurological condition is intact. Hamlin is unable to speak but was able to communicate in writing, asking whether the Bills won the game against the Bengals. In addition, Hamlin's been able to grip the hands of family members at his hospital bedside. The updates have provided much relief to the Bills, notes quarterback Josh Allen.
Being on that field, you lose sleep, you hurt for your brother, a lot of shared grief, but to the question before, getting updates and positive updates eases so much of that pain and that tension that you feel.
Texas has fired men's basketball coach Chris Beard as he faces a felony domestic violence charge.
Coming up Friday, if the Packers missed the playoffs, was this season a failure for Aaron Rodgers? I'll give you my answer on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Greene. That's Greene. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Yeah, I know we took a vacation last week, but hey, it's the final hour of the week here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy.
Look, I took a week last year. 52 weeks out of the year, I didn't do a show for a week. My wife got me a lovely gift, and now I'm going to go enjoy South Beach for a few days.
Indeed, he got tickets to the Jets and the Miami Dolphins in South Beach. Who wouldn't want to do that? So he's going to be doing that this weekend. He's going to be on a flight tomorrow, and therefore we're not going to have a show tomorrow afternoon. So today is the Football Thursday. We're making all of our picks here. We will have we normally play Beat the Chief, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com, but the Chief was not able to make it in with us today. So we'll have his picks posted next week. Just so you know, Tank did that thing that Jeremy's been forecasting for 2 years, where he kept talking about, oh, I won again. I got the lead. And at some point, that's all going to turn to pudding.
And then he went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Full pudding pants.
Full pudding pants the past 2 weeks, 5-10 in week 16 and 4-11 last week, including some banger picks of the Chicago Bears and the LA Rams plus the number. And it ended up in a 4-11 week for me. So now
That's hard to do.
I have sunk to last place and beat the Chief. Jeremy is.
I didn't think you'd fall that far. I just thought one of us was going to pass you.
Yeah, no. You got me by 3 full games. You got the Chief by 2. So 2-game lead for you last week of the season. Looks like Jeremy's going to be the regular season champ of Beat the Chief.
Well,
look, I have taken some swings today, and that doesn't typically go my way.
You know what? I live by a very simple mantra of always be humble. You just, okay? I don't think I've ever seen your eyes roll that aggressively.
Always be humble.
I am a humble man of humble means.
Please. We already have disagreements. I'm taking Carolina. He's taking New Orleans. I'm taking Philly minus the 14. He's got the Giants plus the 14. I'm taking Dallas to cover the 7. He's got Washington plus the number. I'm taking Detroit plus the points. He's got Green Bay covering. So we've got a lot of disagreements. We've done 4 AFC games so far and no disagreements in the AFC. So the NFC seems to be where we're going to – it's either going to be a massive separation for Jeremy or I might have a chance to cut into his lead and maybe make this thing interesting coming down to the final game of the week on Sunday night. Of course, it's all going to hinge on that last game, the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers.
Well, and you still have playoff games. So,
well, yeah, but I mean, we crown a regular season champion, and then we have the separate contest for the playoffs.
Is that how we've done that?
That's how we did it last year.
I always thought we went all the way through the year.
No, we went through the regular season, crowned the champion at the end of the regular season because you and I based the tiebreaker on the national championship game. You took Alabama, I took Georgia.
Ah, yes, that is true.
And that's how we crowned the champion. And then we did the playoffs, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think we ever kept track of the count in the playoff rounds because I don't remember who won, who lost, any of that.
Maybe we should call Sesame Street.
We possibly.
1, 2, 3.
Should.
Ah.
So anyway, we are week 18 in the NFL. We've already picked 4 of the games in the AFC here on a football Thursday. Kansas City, Jacksonville, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. We're both taking all of them to cover some, what I think, at least in Kansas City's case, I think that's a pretty big spread of 9 points. But we have more. But there's more to come.
But wait, there's more.
Because the Houston Texans take on the Indianapolis Colts.
Can I pick present here? The Republicans seem to be doing that, trying to elect a House Speaker. Can I just vote present? I don't like either of these options.
I think one of my favorite tweets, I know we don't do politics on the show, but one of my favorite tweets I saw today was Kevin McCarthy's lost on 5 ballots in a row, but he can still be speaker if the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars lose this weekend.
That's pretty good. That's pretty formidable.
Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis is a 2.5-point favorite at home.
I'm taking Indianapolis.
Good for you.
I'm taking Indianapolis, and I'll be honest with you, if anybody for the Houston Texans gets past the 20-yard line, I feel like Lovie Smith will throw his headset at them. Like, get down! No, we are not winning this game. I am not playing another season with Davis Mills as my stupid quarterback.
And he wouldn't do that anyway, but you want to assure that you get your guy. And so you don't want to do anything to screw up the number 1 pick.
No. Lose. Just lose. Houston Texans, as a Jets fan, let me give you a piece of advice. You should be playing people off the street in this game. Davis Mills is too good to play. You should play Jeff Driscoll. Or let Rex Burkhead just take snaps under center. I don't care.
Or you find
a way to lose.
Or you could go get somebody. I mean, hell,
we've already seen David Blau's going to make a start this week. Nathan Peterman. Mike Glennon got signed by the Dolphins.
David Blau! Yeah, I don't care. Houston Texans are losing this game.
Yes. You have to lose. You have to lose this game. And
it's only 2.5, so.
Right. Indianapolis minus the 2.5 seems like the best bet here. And then the Miami Dolphins host your Jets. Jeremy, you're going to be in the building.
My Jets.
To see if the Jets can spoil the party for the Dolphins. Can they?
You know, I'm a 30-year Jets fan. And if there's one thing we do so good, it's spoil seasons that have absolutely nothing to do with us.
Even your own.
Bingo. Which is why I'm taking the Jets, Jets.
I thought that may be the way you go. And honestly, I'm right there with you.
Skylar Thompson. I've already seen this once.
Right, it's the jettiest thing you can think of.
To go down there, win, everything goes your way the way you needed it to go to make the playoffs.
Bingo.
And you lost to the stupid Sea Chickens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just like when you had the number 1 pick locked up and all you had to do was lose.
Just lose.
Lose to the LA Rams.
And Zach Wilson would be Jacksonville's problem. But no.
Jets plus the 2 feels like a great bet this weekend. Also in a 1 o'clock game, you got the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, it's the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers minus the 2.5. I have poo-pooed this team all season long, and the only thing that they have done is come back and be in the hunt. I mean, they win. They could very well be in the playoffs. They'll have a 9-8 record.
So what's Pittsburgh need to make the playoffs? They need New England to lose to Buffalo, which I already said was going to happen.
It's going to happen.
They need Miami to lose to the Jets, which I just said is going to happen.
Yeah.
And they need to beat the Cleveland Browns. They're only a 2.5-point favorite. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gross.
And I will be insufferable if the Steelers and Packers come back to make the playoffs after I specifically told you, do not throw dirt on these teams.
Right.
There's nothing shocking about this to me at all. Oh, but they look so bad. Yeah. As my father, I grew up hearing this line. Winners win and losers lose. Miami Dolphins, historic losers. Pittsburgh Steelers, historic winners. Not hard to figure out.
Right. Still a gross team.
I don't disagree.
It's still such a gross team, and to think that they're going to make the playoffs is kind of dumbfounding. But there again, this will be the last time that I don't believe the Steelers could make a comeback.
Should be.
I've done it 2 years in a row now.
Should be.
The Chargers take on the Broncos in a 4:25 start in Denver, Colorado.
And the Denver Broncos are a 2.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess the thought has to be the Chargers will play no one.
But for why? Are they going to play no one? What? If they lose to Denver, Curtis Davis, shout out to him for giving me the playoff clinching scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers have to win this game to be the 5 if the Ravens win. Now, if the Ravens lose, and they will know that because this is the last AFC game of the year, then maybe you don't play anybody, but I don't really buy it. And I can't emphasize this enough. I'm not sure that I care. I'm not sure if the Chargers' backups couldn't beat the Broncos at this point.
And you're probably right.
But they showed so much fight against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that fired coach bump. And not the first time we've seen that. You remember when Jeff Saturday did that? And we went, oh, look, Jeff Saturday's going to be a coach in this league. And next week, scattered, smothered, covered, diced, chunked. And that's what I see here. I don't care. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah. I got the Chargers as well, plus the 2.5.
Chase Daniel and Trey McKitty hook up for 3 touchdowns. Trey McKitty's a Florida State guy. That's the only reason I used him.
Yeah, that's gross.
And I could also see it happening.
Yeah, he's gross. Los Angeles Chargers should be the victor here. It doesn't matter if the backups play or not. The Broncos are listless. And you're not You're just not proving anything. You're not proving anything in Week 18.
No.
It's too late for that.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's already fired their head coach. You've already moved on. It's on to next year.
Yep.
So,
and Denver Bronco fans, before you get real sad, based off Jim Harbaugh's latest social media post, read it really clearly. I expect to be the coach at Michigan next year. Uh-huh. And Nick Saban expected to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, too. We all saw how that worked out.
I will not be the head coach at Alabama.
I always laugh at how specifically coaches say things, and then people go, see, Adam Schefter just did it. True Michigan man, through and through. Mm-hmm. Hey, Adam, I don't know how good you are at English. Maybe you don't English so well, but notice that he gave a lot of open-ended in that statement.
Mm-hmm. Look, I expect to be the head coach. Doesn't commit him to anything.
No.
I expect that Michigan's going to come up with an offer. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I expect David Tepper's not going to give me what I want. These are all things that I would be expecting.
I expect to never run naked down Tunnel Road, but parlay cards and domestic lights are a fickle individual.
David Tepper shows up with a blank check, and then Jim Harbaugh's going to be like, well, I expect I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, situations change. That's just the way life works.
I'm not buying it. Because he 100% needs to take that job.
It's like a job.
And
I don't care which one it is.
No, I think it's the Carolina job. I think it's the best scenario for him. I think it would be the best thing for Carolina Panthers fans to finally have a coach. When was the last time you had one of those? Oh, Ron Rivera. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, John Fox. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You keep telling me. Oh, Dom Capers was... Stop it. We've seen this over and over again. You need a head coach.
And that's just a slew of different ham sandwiches, wasn't it?
And shocker of shockers.
This one's on artisan bread.
Prove me wrong. Those are the best ones in history.
Mm-hmm. This one has American cheese. This one has Swiss cheese. They're all ham sandwiches.
All of them. Each and every one of them. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Merriman Avenue and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound, stop and go between Brevard Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound delays between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound slow between NC 209 and US 276. Merriman Avenue northbound in the Grace area, traffic is stop and go. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Mills Gap Road and Long Shoals Road. In the Fletcher area, Hendersonville Road southbound is stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Smiley's Flea Market area. I'm Lee Minfield with your times.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
It has been the best year of my life because of the PhD weight loss program. I've lost over 90 pounds. I feel like I have a new lease on life because PhD has given me all the tools to success to finally conquer my weight problem. They've given me so much support. I cannot thank the health coaches at PhD enough for helping me stay motivated throughout this entire process.
I have long not had a weight problem. I've had a lazy problem. Fast food was easier. Hectic schedule, you just do what you do on the fly. After a year on PhD, I'm back to my high school weight. All of the health issues that I was having have gone away, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD weight loss.
It is amazing how you feel when you lose a tiny person. Losing 90 pounds with PhD in a year, they can help you have the best year of your life going forward. It's time to start making all of those New Year's resolutions. Probably a good time to go over and visit myphdweightloss.com.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It's a football Thursday, and it's time for us to do that thing that we always do. Right before a big football weekend, we decide where we're going to go with the daily draft. So today's daily draft, where are you going if money is no object this weekend? I have the first pick.
Because we already decided, since I am actively going to one of these games, I have to take that.
Yes, Jeremy has already been locked into his number one pick.
Which I feel like gives me a serious I feel like I'm behind. Deficit. There we go. That'll work.
You're already behind the 8 ball with this one. Well, look, I'm going to give you your opportunity. I got to give you your opportunity to get all the games that you can after this, because there's one place to go, and it's not in the NFL.
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to think about that.
No. That is the game that everybody wants to be at. The national championship game at SoFi Stadium on Monday night. You're going to have the Georgia Bulldogs against the TCU Horned Frogs. You have so much riding on this game, obviously, as the national championship game, but you've got the repeat. Can Georgia overcome and be the first team to go back-to-back since Alabama did it 10 years ago? TCU, again, picked 7th at preseason to be to finish 7th in the Big 12, and now they've got a chance to win the national championship with the Hypno-Toad thing and Sonny Dykes in his first year. That's the place to be.
Did you happen to see the interaction between TCU's AD and Darren Ravel?
No.
So Ravel tweeted out about 5 seconds after TCU beat Michigan that they didn't sell through their allotment of national championship game tickets. The AD tweeted out, yeah, we had to turn down 5,000 requests. Next time you want to tell something about TCU, maybe call me directly. And I went, okay. We got some arrogance coming out of Fort Worth, and I like it.
Right.
I do not understand how you're going to have a college football game where you can't tailgate, but
yeah,
you're right.
I mean, that's California for you. And it also made me think of, remember when they had when the Super Bowl was there last year, and didn't Asheville Police Chief Zack go? Or
yes.
haven't they? Or did they been to SoFi? Because I know I've heard him talk about the area around the stadium. It's not a good neighborhood.
No,
and that's probably more of a driver for the no tailgating thing than anything. They don't want the elements that are not involved in the game hanging out in the parking lot.
Possible.
The more I thought about it, the more I went.
Then why do you let them tailgate at certain Rams games?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why do you let the fans tailgate at Rams and Chargers games?
I have no idea.
With a tailgating pass, which is stupid. All right, with my first pick, I have to take Jets-Dolphins because I'm going to Jets-Dolphins. and money's no object. If you spend your own U.S. doll hairs, apparently you have to take that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first pick. Still think it's a stupid rule.
It's not a stupid rule. You're actually going. You have to take it.
I still think it's a stupid rule. Now the question is, which of the NFL games would I take first? And I have to do this somewhat strategically because I have to think about what you're going to do. There's only one of these games that really means something that I think is going to be a really good game. So I'm going to Lambeau. I know it's going to be cold. I don't really care.
That was the right choice.
I'm going to Lions-Packers.
Yep. That was the right choice. Detroit at Green Bay, Sunday night, Lambeau Field.
Well, you get the legendary stadium. You get Aaron Rodgers with this team of broken toys, basically, as it's been cast all year.
And you have the team of upstarts. And Dan
Which is
Campbell.
One of the most fun teams in the NFL to watch.
Absolutely. I think this game's going to be a blast.
I do too. I think this is the way you end the NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of 1,000 things the NFL does right.
Mm-hmm. And the
ability to completely restack the deck in Week 18, that's brilliant.
Yeah, the fitting end is a game winner.
But what about
the
the people that bought tickets? They'll figure it out.
Yeah, walk-off touchdown, walk-off field goal. This game just screams last-second decision to me. Aaron Rodgers and company probably come out on top. But as you heard in the when we were picking the games, I'm taking Detroit plus the 4.5.
Yeah, this game to me screams Jared Goff piddles his pants outside. But I could be wrong, and this could be the most fun game of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. You cannot bet against Aaron Rodgers. He said all year long, all we got to do is just keep showing up, keep playing our game. We'll figure it out at some point. He never said RELAX, but he probably should have.
Stephen Tao said, till Seattle wins and the Lions have nothing to play for except keeping the Packers out of the playoffs, which I promise you will be enough for Dan Campbell.
Oh, 100%. They're not going into this. Like, if Seattle wins, they're not going into this game going, oh, well.
Trust me, I know Ravens fans that never miss the playoffs. You don't understand the principle of being a really terrible team. The Lions do, and my Jets do. Trust me, it's enough to get your best effort to keep your division rival out of the playoffs.
All right, you got Detroit at Green Bay. You also have the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins, which we made you take because you're actually going to the game. The reason we will not have a show here on ESPN Asheville or on the YouTube stream tomorrow, just heads up on that. Now comes my turn.
There's one game you have to take that it may not be that much fun to watch.
And which one? Okay, I'll take it, and then you'll let me know, I guess. Could not be fun to watch. I mean, here's one. It's got to be the Patriots and the Bills. You don't think?
I don't disagree with you.
You don't think that's going to be a sight to behold?
Oh,
Orchard
absolutely.
Park on Sunday with the Damar Hamlin tributes that are going to be had and just the atmosphere, the togetherness. That's the thing that's come out of all of this. That, I mean, obviously the health of Damar is key, but with the reaction everybody's had and enveloping the Buffalo Bills and Damar and his family throughout this entire process, the money raised for the charity is now over $7 million. And it has just shown that NFL fandom, there's a great side. There's a great side to it. There's a community to it, and it does not matter what team you play for. I mean, heck, you had the New England Patriots and Robert Kraft making donations. You had several Patriots listed on the donation list for all of this. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a hard-fought game on the Patriots side. I mean, there's still such a thing as getting smoked by 2 touchdowns and having a hard-fought game. The Bills are just that much better than they are. But I think all of that is that's the premier place to be in the 1 o'clock slate to me on Sunday.
And then?
Giants-Eagles?
That's not where I thought you were going either.
That's not the one?
A 14-point spread game's where you're headed.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know what to expect from Jalen Hurts.
And you have to go to Philadelphia for it, too.
Well, what's wrong with Philadelphia?
You think you wouldn't do well in prison? You ever been to Philadelphia?
No, sir. I have not.
You'd be a hood ornament for somebody.
I hear they got good food.
Yeah, cheesesteaks are great. That stadium, you show up wearing anything but Philadelphia Eagle colors, you are not a friend.
Well, I wouldn't do that.
No, you show up with your Buc-ee's shirt and your gas station attendant hat.
100%. Just show up like the local yokel. Hi, y'all. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, they would smoke you just out of sheer principle. These are people that booed Santa Claus.
Uh-huh. Like, I don't know how the Giants are gonna approach this game. Everything has been played real close to the vest for Brian Daboll. Maybe they wanna not have the week off. Maybe they will trot out Azeez Ojulari and Adoree Jackson to make a difference in this game. Or maybe Jalen Hurts comes back and the rust is too much, and this is an epic game down to the end, and Philadelphia wins it on a last-second play to clinch the home field advantage.
All right. It's not I actually didn't have you taking either one of those, if I was to be really honest. So I'm going to go to the only winners in, losers out game in the NFL. I will go to Jacksonville, Florida, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans. Meh. Do I think it's going to be a good game? No, I don't.
Meh. That's what I think.
But what if I'm wrong?
No, I get it. I mean, there is a stark possibility.
What if Derrick Henry comes out and has 240 yards, keeps them in this, and we've got a tie ball game with 2 minutes to go, and the next team to score goes to the playoffs?
Right. What's the thing about this young team, or any young team that we talk about?
They've never been here before.
Right. You got to learn how to win. And in clutch spots like this, who knows? Is Trevor Lawrence going to show up with championship caliber play? I don't know. Maybe Tennessee can make a game out of it. I honestly feel like Jacksonville's just going to frog stomp them.
That's how I feel.
And that's why I didn't go.
But what if I'm wrong?
And that's why I didn't go.
But what if I'm wrong?
Mm-hmm. So Saturday night in primetime, Jacksonville, Florida, you just want to go show off the mullet.
Oh, yeah.
You
I want to
know
go
that's
be with mulleted people.
You know that the mullet's going to be much more accepted in Jacksonville than it's going to be when you get to Miami.
Oh, I could care less about that. I could not care less if I tried.
Okay. Jacksonville and Tennessee. Is that it? That's as far as we're going?
I said we go to 3 because where are you headed next? I mean, Cincinnati, Baltimore.
Cincinnati, Baltimore would be on there, and then
you get it very Pittsburgh, Cleveland-y very quickly.
Yeah. Cowboys, Commanders. Nah, it's not really worth it. We'll just end it there. So I'm going to the national championship game. I'm going New England at Buffalo. Philly against the New York Giants. Jeremy's going, of course, to Miami, as he's doing in real life. And then Green Bay for the Detroit game. And Jacksonville hosting the Tennessee Titans in a winner take all. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cooler numbers settling in for the weekend, feeling a little more like January should. We get down to 32 in the valley tonight and higher elevations in the 20s tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, low 33, and we'll see 40s and 50s this weekend with nighttime low temps in the 20s. That is closer to where we should be this time of winter. Some light rains coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound crawling between Bavard Road and Airport Road due to a disabled vehicle at mile marker 39. Haywood County, 40 westbound slow between NC 209 and US 276. On Merriman Avenue northbound in the Grace area of North Asheville, expect heavy delays. Sweden Creek Road southbound, stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Long Shoals Road. Again, Hendersonville Road southbound slow in the Fletcher area between Fanning Bridge Road and the Smiley's Flea Market area. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Shop limited time deals at the Truckload event at Lowe's, happening now. Save big on your favorites across the store. During this event, get up to 50% off select tools and accessories. Plus, find the perfect floor tile for your home for less. Get up to 50% off select styles while you can. Head to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowes.com to shop the Truckload event today. Valid 12/29 through 1/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowes.com for details. Discount taken at time of purchase.
Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take us with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations and playlists all free. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace. Back here on ESPN Asheville in the Ingles studio, it is a football Thursday. And earlier in the program, we had a super chat to get to. Do you want to hit the button for Gage?
I'm your huckleberry.
So Gage asked dream matchup for the Super Bowl.
Yes, what's your dream matchup for the Super Bowl? My money's on Bengals Eagles or Bills Eagles. Can't see Kansas City's defense holding up and don't trust Purdy in high pressure. I'm going to let you go first because I have my answer is a little elaborate.
Okay. I think I bounced back and forth this whole season of who's going to be there, who do I want to see make it. I believe so much in Kansas City, but that's not the story. And then Monday happened, and it became the story. To me, this is now the story of the rest of this season. The Buffalo Bills playing for Damar Hamlin, they will be the champions of the AFC. On the other side, I want to see Mr. Irrelevant take a team to a Super Bowl. I'm all in on Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers. And those two things, the two narratives that I just talked about, those are really just the cherries on top of the ice cream sundae that would be the Super Bowl for me. These are the two most talented teams, in my opinion, in the NFL.
Philadelphia's close, sure. I get it. I don't think there's another more complete team in the AFC than the Buffalo Bills. Cincinnati's close to me. Kansas City gets bumped down because of their lack of defense at times. And the way that they just, I don't know, just kind of play cat and mouse with teams that they're just supposed to beat handily. I want to see the Buffalo Bills go to the Super Bowl, and I want to see the San Francisco 49ers and Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and all those weapons be led by Brock Purdy.
To me, Buffalo is the obvious answer in the AFC. And I'm pretty sure all of us can get behind it unless you're a fan of the Chiefs or the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
But now, so for me, the question then became, okay, who do I want to see them play? Bills Mafia and Eagles fans. I'm not sure Glendale, Arizona could handle that. Now, if we were doing this in Vegas in a couple of years, okay, maybe. Maybe that is a place that could house the amount of debauchery that would happen with those two fan bases in the same city. I considered the 49ers because I do agree with you, seeing Mr. Irrelevant lead a team to the Super Bowl would be intriguing. But I went a slightly different path. My dream matchup would be to see the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys for two primary reasons. One, I would love for Dallas Cowboy fans to have to see what would happen to you if you played in the AFC. If you didn't get this marshmallow fluff schedule, this is what would have happened to you. And then there's the real reason that I picked this. It's the ultimate way to reverse the Bills' curse. Scott Norwood, all the things. I know Norwood was against the Giants, but you lost 2 Super Bowls to the Cowboys, and you got smoked in one of them. This is the ultimate way. To me, there is no other way. That's exactly how this should go.
Exercising
you
the demons
catch your
from the
opportunity
90s.
to get past the 2 losses in the Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys, and that would just be insanity.
It would be insanity because
mainly because I think the Bills would beat them about 59-6,
possibly. But it would be insanity because Dallas ain't making it out of Tampa, buddy.
Gage Camplin, the one that asked this question, said his dream is based on Cowboy fans' tears.
Nice.
Savage.
Nice. That is.
I mean, that plays a role.
That is
I'm
very
not gonna
true.
lie to you, it plays a role.
That is very true. I mean, good for you. I get it. Stephen Tao wants to see his Ravens in the Super Bowl. If you're a fan of one of these teams, I mean, obviously that's a dream.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in my case.
Tank couldn't even find a way that he would fictitiously dream up Tom Brady getting to the Super Bowl this year.
Well, I mean, after we dispatch of the Dallas Cowboys at Raymond James Stadium,
they'll beat you 42-6.
It's not going to happen. Stop that. Hang that up right now.
The reason he's so averse to me saying that's because he knows it's true.
It's not true. It's not. When have the Dallas Cowboys ever shown up in a big-time game and just stomped somebody?
When have the Dallas Cowboys gotten to play a team that should be picking in the top 10 in the playoffs?
You can keep poo-pooing it all you want to, but it doesn't go well.
Okay, I have to add on to my dream here. I want the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 114-3, just so I can have that day, because I will compile every time I've said this and auto-tune it and play it for a full segment and laugh and laugh and laugh.
And then he'll just completely forget about it if it goes down in a close fashion, which is exactly how this game's going to go.
No.
Yes. Anyhow. Yeah, I mean, of course I'm confident in that. Stephen Tao says Tank seems so confident in this, I'm starting to take his side. Again, what part of the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs makes you think they're going to show up and frog stomp somebody, especially Tom Brady in his possible last playoff game at home? I don't really see
with
it.
A team
you talk about their secondary being god-awful. And you don't think that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to be able to keep this game competitive?
I'm not sure Tom Brady would make it through that game. As Micah Parsons just going to look at Donovan Smith and go, I'm never leaving your side. And I'm going to have 14 sacks in this game. And you might have 19 holding calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Gage Camplin says Cowboys versus the Bucs. I'll take the boys by 7. Okay.
And I'm going to piggyback on that. Cowboys, Bucs, I'll take the Cowboys by 70.
Anyway. Yeah, after we dispatch the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, here's the thing.
Then we can go
here's
on.
The thing. And look, we hadn't talked about this, but I've been thinking about it for weeks. We do have an outstanding board bet that you never paid off.
What was that?
That was where you had to dress up like a cowboy from the Cowboys-Packers and go downtown with a sign that said free hugs.
Oh, yeah.
So we could go double or nothing, but you are not going to like what happens if you lose.
What does that mean?
Because I'm not going to tell you. You can accept it and get completely out of it.
That's never going to happen.
Oh, no. I'll write it on a piece of I'll even give it to Sports Freak Brian Hall. I'll make sure that it's legally acceptable. I'll even let Asheville Police Chief Zack run through it just to make sure that it's not illegal, because it won't be illegal. It'll be horribly embarrassing.
I don't know if you guys...
It'll be top 5 worst days of your entire life. Let me put it that way. No doubt.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like free hugs is going to be particularly fun for you. But
I'm good. I'm Seacrest out on letting Jeremy do whatever he wants to do. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to let somebody hit you with a car. It's just going to be wildly demeaning. Okay? That's where it would be.
Which actually, I believe, takes me down the path of that's going to get Tank's ass kicked, and I'm not doing that. Like, I'm good.
I'm not going to lie. That is a possibility that would be on the table.
I have gone my entire life without being in that kind of a situation, and I'm not going to start today. Just so you know.
I'm just saying, the offer is on the table. Depends on how bad of a gambler you are. Are you looking at it going double or nothing? I can get out.
Gage Camplin says Bills Eagles Super Bowl might cause the 2023 year high in arrests.
Very possible.
Absolutely. I think Bills Eagles is the collision course that we all expect.
Which is why I'm almost positive it's not going to happen.
Outside the dream world, that's the one we expect.
I mean, how many times have we gone into a playoffs expecting a matchup? And how many times have we actually gotten that matchup?
That's a good point.
Every year we think we're on a collision course for blank. And then somebody comes out of nowhere and pulls an upset, and it's not what we thought it would be.
I just don't know who that team could be this year.
Because for me, I've run down this every way that it could possibly go. And I cannot figure out how you're not going to have Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers in the NFC, and Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I mean, Cincinnati's in.
Well, it depends on who gets the one. If Buffalo's the one, Cincinnati play Kansas City, okay, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But the variable there, I would say right now it's probably a 75% chance that they don't play that game in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
I'm not saying it's what they should do. It's just
that's
logistically.
How you think it goes.
The logistics of it get to be a headache. I feel like the NFL sitting around hoping Kansas City loses because then that takes care of all their problems.
Absolutely.
But then I don't know what you do if that doesn't happen. I know what I want. I want them to run with my idea of we'll just delay the postseason a week.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Who ends up in the Super Bowl? Well, obviously, we got to wait and see on that one. Dream matchups are fun to talk about, though. So let's go. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baltimore Ravens. I called it at the beginning of the season. Let's do that. Come on, Stephen Tao.
No.
We'll be back right after this.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
240 westbound is stop and go between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound heavy delays between Bavard Road to approaching Airport Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Long Shoals Road due to an accident. Hendersonville Road southbound in the Fletcher area slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Smiley's Flea Market area. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
The music we listen to all year long. The anthems that were our soundtrack for 2022. And the stars who made the songs we love will all be celebrated March 27th, live from Los Angeles.
Let's get it started.
Get ready for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Awards, coming back to Fox.
Hey, this is Peter Schrager from the NFL Network's morning show, Good Morning Football. You've also seen me on NFL sidelines and in studio for Fox Sports on Sunday. Well, I've got a new podcast with iHeart in the NFL, and we're calling it The Season with Peter Schrager. In each episode of this season, I'm going to empty my proverbial notebook and take you inside and behind the scenes on the conversations that happen at the highest levels of NFL franchises. Listen to The Season with Peter Schrager on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The 2022 NFL season is underway, and there is no better way to stay current with all the news from around the league than with the NFL Now podcast. NFL reporters in the field and right out of the locker rooms, insiders in the know, insightful interviews, and immediate analysis. No waiting required. The time is now. NFL Now. 32 teams, one source. Join me, Andrew Siciliano, for all the football news you need to know. Listen to NFL Now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville to close out the week here. We will not be with you tomorrow. Jeremy's making the trip to Miami this weekend.
I'm taking my talents to South Beach. I've waited all week to do that.
Yeah. You can be showing off the PhD bod.
Oh, absolutely.
While you're there.
Oh yeah, I've got my Borat suit packed.
I don't like the way that.
Always leave them with a vision that they'll remember. That's comedy 101.
You remember that those commercials from the Men's Warehouse? You're definitely not going to like the way this looks.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. Well, thanks. I mean, I was going to launch right into a PhD spot there, but now I'm guaranteed I'll never eat again. Thank you for that image.
Bingo.
Seriously, though, if you need to change your life, you need to win finally that battle with your weight problem, you can do it. And PhD weight loss is the way to do it. Last Thanksgiving, Jeremy and I went into PhD weight loss, and we were told that we'd get results like we've never seen from any other program. And it was absolutely true.
in 1 year, I lost more than 90 pounds with PhD. And here's the thing. I'm still not done. I'm still going back in. I'm still getting my weigh-ins. I'm still talking with my health coaches, and they're encouraging me to continue with the weight loss despite the success that I've had. If you need to change your life, myphdweightloss.com is the website you need to go to.
I did not have 90 pounds to lose. I had just taken a formerly athletic body and gotten very lazy and a little chunky. So with the plan and program of PhD, I managed to get back to my high school weight in my mid-30s. All of the pains and aches that I had and the lack of sleep that I was going through has all gone away as thanks to the plan and program of PhD.
PhD Weight Loss has the plan that's pretty much foolproof. They give you all the pointers on how to get the results. You just got to stick with the plan. Dr. Ashley Lucas has the solution to your weight problem. She can help you. Go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. It's going to be a fun weekend of football.
And next week, upon my return, it is officially draftmas season.
Yes.
We will have the top 20 picks in the NFL draft set in stone. And you know what that means? It's time for a mock draft.
Oh, mock draft madness will continue at the beginning of next week. The plan right now is to have a show on Monday.
Yes, as of right now, as long as airlines don't do what airlines seem to like to do, I will be back in plenty of time to do the show.
Yes, but
we do have to have the
The flight is scheduled on Monday. So should anything happen with that flight schedule, you may not hear us on Monday. We may not have the full preview of the national championship game. So I feel like it's only right for us here in the closing minutes to give our picks for that game just in case we don't make it.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
But I think you should.
I feel like I'm going full Kirk Herbstreit here. I mean, I'm not calling the game.
I just don't
I'm not
want
calling the game, but I feel like it's best reserved for Monday.
Oh, okay.
You don't make the plan. If you don't make the plan, you see it into existence.
All right. So we will think happy thoughts, and we will be with you on Monday if we can.
And
just be prepared in case we're not.
And if you listen to the iHeartRadio app, you'll hear my pick because I've already given it. Thank you to Ingles and Mullet's Money Making Minute.
Yes, Mullet's Money Making Minute. So anyhow, so what was your pick? Since you've already made it, you got to give it to us.
I took TCU plus the number. I do think they'll keep this close. And I love the over.
Yeah, it's going to be
Ohio State, I feel like gave the blueprint of how to score on you.
Deep balls.
And TCU has the personnel to do that.
All the deep balls for Ohio State, and that's what Max Duggan does best.
I mean, I'll be really honest with you. There's one matchup here that I can't get away from. It's Quentin Johnson, Kelly Ringo.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Kelly Ringo is going to become a second-round pick, and Quentin Johnston is going to become a no-doubt top 10 pick.
Georgia's 12.5-point favorite in the national championship game on Monday night, and
it opened at 15, so that should tell you where the betting action's going.
I'm with you. I can't give more than 10 points in a national championship game. So I'll be with you on the on TCU. But outright winner, Georgia Bulldogs, back to back, baby.
That's how I think it's going to go. And I'm not saying that I put the kiss of death on your Georgia Bulldogs, but everything I just said is almost verbatim what I said about Michigan.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll be able to run against that 3-3-5. TCU's undersized on defense. But I also feel like they have a receiver that's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been an interesting week, to say the least. And I opened the show by saying there is a God, and God is good. And I feel like I need to say it again on the way out, because Damar Hamlin has made an incredible, quick recovery. Obviously, he's still in the hospital, still critical condition, but the signs of improvement have been overwhelming to the medical staff, and it just makes my heart grow to hear that.
It does me as well. This has been unlike anything I've ever seen, and I hope it's unlike anything I ever see again. But it showed there are good people, and we can still rally in this country around things. And we raised $7 million for kids at Christmas.
Yeah.
And I say we because we all did it. The listeners of the show, you did it as well.
Exactly.
You gave a donation as well. So that's my takeaway from this. And I look forward to more football talk next week.
Indeed. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll be back with you on Monday.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cooler numbers settling in for the weekend, feeling a little more like January should. We get down to 32 in the valley tonight and higher elevations in the 20s tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, low 33, and we'll see 40s and 50s this weekend with nighttime low temps in the 20s. That is closer to where we should be this time of winter. Some light rains coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound slow between Bavard Road to just east of Long Shoals Road. Hendersonville Road southbound is crawling between Biltmore Forest and Long Shoals Road due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. On the Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, traffic very busy. I'm leaving